And a very pleasant good evening from Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center on this Aloha Friday. It's the rematch between the #1 ranked Rainbow Warriors and the 7th ranked Ramblers of Loyola, Chicago. And this is Game On, presented by Bank of Hawaii for Rainbow Warrior Volleyball. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Scott Robbs, along with Lisa Strand and former Rainbow Warrior great Kupono Faye. Thanks for joining us, Kupono.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, the Rainbow Warriors opened up the fence of their national championship on Wednesday night with a sweep over the Ramblers. And let's take a look at some of the highlights from Wednesday's affair. We start off with Chaz Galloway, team high 11 kills.
Chaz Galloway was having his way all night. It's almost like he didn't miss a beat, up and over.
And Galloway showing what he can do in his hops right there. Also helping the Hawaii cause, Jeremy Voss, who was terrific in the middle.
Yeah, hitting 500 on the night. He was pretty unstoppable. Just contributing in blocks too. A real force to the net.
There you see Voss with a new look, but still quite imposing in the middle for the Rainbow Warriors. And the story, I thought, on Wednesday was setter Jakob Tella not only leading the Hawaii offense, but showing some offense of his own, as well as just being spectacular from behind the service line. 6 aces.
Well, you must admit this young man leads by example in every aspect of the game.
So Hawaii comes away with the 3-set win. There you see the numbers and you see the overall stats. Hawaii out blocking the Ramblers 9.5 to 4, the 6-0 advantage in service aces, and a 381 hitting percentage. Overall, when you consider they had to replace 4 starters from last year's national championship team, how do you think the team fared on Wednesday, Kupono?
I thought they played very well. I mean, Jakob Tele contributing in everything, like you said. He's leading. He's a strong leader, very professional out there, and he got everyone going the other night.
I have to agree. I think that the distribution of the sets was impeccable, and I don't think they really missed a beat. They were totally in system. I was completely surprised. Mostly I was, my highlight of the night was definitely the hanging of that banner, because that is forevermore. And for them to start the evening like that, boy, chicken skin big time.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. But getting back to Jakob Tella, he injured his ankle late in set #1. Gutted it out, but we'll have to keep an eye on him, because I understand that ankle was a bit swollen the day after, which typically happens.
Yeah, definitely. I think he injured it serving Wednesday night, but he looks pretty good out there right now, so I'm excited to see how he performs tonight with that.
All right, we'll see how Jakob and the rest of the Rainbows do, as we'll throw it over now to the side set, the guys that, well, not the side set, to court side, to the gentlemen that'll be calling the Ashton Kanoa and James.
Hey, thanks a lot, Scott. Yeah, you guys are the side set, I thought. Anyway,
right.
Either way you slice it, next to James Anastasiadis, I'm Kanoa Leahy. James, great to have you here. Now, you were very much a part of this team over the last few years, very much a part of that national championship experience a year ago. So when you saw that banner unveiled the other night, how did it hit you?
It was very fulfilling to see that banner go up, and it was just really cool to see that trusting the process goes a long way. And last year, the cool thing was I did have a different role being the manager of the team. I saw a lot of what goes behind the scenes and the process that the coaches go in, Charlie Wade, Milan Zarkovic, and Josh Walker, the hours that they spend creating this awesome puzzle to succeed is just really cool to see that. And then seeing how Rado and Colton and Patrick Gassman and Gage Worsley were able to finish off what started many years ago, and it was just an awesome feeling to see that banner.
Yeah, that was
a
a very special and emotional evening for sure. And you mentioned the pieces to the puzzle. A lot of those large pieces were removed from that team a year ago, and so Charlie Wade having to put new pieces in new places. So this is a very different type of Rainbow Warrior volleyball team. What were your impressions from their season opening performance?
It really is. And last night watching the game, it's a completely different volleyball game that they're playing. It's a lot more fast to the pins. I think Jakob Tella is doing a great job this year about spreading the offense a lot more. He's setting the outsides. He's setting Demi on that really quick bat set, which is very fun to see. We saw last night, it gets one, maybe no blockers up. It's just a different team, but it's really cool to also see Jakob Tella take that leadership role, because I think that was one thing we were all worried about going into the season was we had many veterans, 6-year guys on the team, and then you strip all that, it's who's going to step up, and he did a great job with that.
Yeah, you're right. The leadership, right? When you have so many veteran players, that is the thing that you're worried about, that absence being felt. And it did appear that Jakob Tella, as well as even Chaz Galloway, able to step up, raise their game a little bit in the leadership department. So we now look at this rematch against Loyola Chicago. Following a sweep, they are obviously going to be motivated to make some adjustments. What differences do you think Hawaii should anticipate from the Ramblers?
I think the Ramblers are going to do a better job of setting their opposite. I think they were very pin dominant to the outsides last night. I would like to see the Ramblers spread the offense a little more. I think they'll be a lot more aggressive with that big swing. They were very successful with it tonight. So I think that'll open up the middle for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Having Guilherme, which had a fantastic night blocking last night, a little bit more on edge. And then serving a lot more aggressively. We saw when Hawaii is in system, they are lethal. So I think the Ramblers are going to come out with a lot more aggression and spreading out the offense a lot more.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun. In this Hanaho season to a national championship accomplishment, this is the Hanaho rematch coming up against the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago. We'll see you again at First Serve. Let's send it back over to the side set.
Yes, we are the side set. You guys are the main event. All right, thanks a lot, Kano. I appreciate that. Well, you heard James talking about some of the losses from a year ago that helped Hawaii win a national championship. Some losses on the outside, but if you talk to Charlie, he still feels very confident about the strength of his outside hitters.
We have a nice stable of outside hitters. Again, you mentioned Colton, who's an elite level receiver and a dynamic attacker. Chaz Galloway was on the floor a lot for us the last couple of years, and he certainly will continue to fill a role. Philip Humler is back healthy and really playing at kind of his level that he did in 2020, where he hit 370 on the left and mostly out of system. Spiro Chakas is back again and had a really nice fall camp for us. And Kana'i Akana is here. And again, that's a guy that's, been in the program now for a couple of years, has worked really hard. So, we know that we got a stable of guys that are going to be able to go out there and compete. And I think all will get playing time here in January and February and see who really emerges as those statistical leaders as the season unfolds.
Guys, when you look at the left side or outside hitter position, really 4 guys vying for 2 spots. And getting the start on Wednesday, it was Galloway and Hawkes. Your thoughts on those 2?
Well, I'll go first. I think that Chaz Galloway, he played a lot in the last season, and so he, rightfully so, earned a national championship as a true freshman. And I think it's been a battle for the other position because that's filling the spot of Colton Cowell, exactly. So those other 3 players are vying for that spot, and Spiros took that spot and is doing a nice job. But trust me when I say everybody is on his heels. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of depth in that position, and all 4 of those players are great passers and 6 rotation players.
And there you see some numbers from both Galloway and Hawkes. We saw Galloway quite a bit last year. Saw Hawkes a little bit last season. So those 2 guys right now seem to be the starters. But you also have guys that are right behind them in Humler and Akana. Of course, Humler played a lot 2 years ago. Last year had injuries and illness, which only allowed him to participate in 3 matches. He's a guy to keep an eye on that could crack that top 2.
Yeah, definitely good to see him out there. Like Charlie said, they're very deep in the outside position, which is really good to hear for Charlie. And it's really good to see Philip healthy. He had a good season 2 years ago, and I'm excited to see how he is this season, and I hope he gets some playing time tonight.
And Kana'i Akana transferred from BYU. Saw his most action last year as a serving specialist, but obviously has a lot of talent.
Yeah, we saw him last night come in, and he has been primarily used as a serving specialist out of Punahou. Played his first 2 years at BYU, came in, and he's definitely contributing, and he's working hard to get into the lineup as well.
So those are the 4 that are vying for that left side spot. What about on the opposite position? Because you're not going to be able to replace an All-American, the player of the year in Rado Parapunov, but they've got a couple of weapons there on the opposite side.
Fortunately, we believe we continue to have depth at that position. Demetrius Muklius is back and will be the starter at the opposite position. He is certainly a different type of player than Rado, but can play at a really high level. Alakai Todd is back for his 4th year and still has 3 years of eligibility. He is more similar in Rado in style. Big 6'9" guy that hits it really high and hard. So we think we can be competitive at that position. Are either of those guys ready to be a National Player of the Year candidate? We'll see.
Yeah, you look at the numbers right there for Mukulis as well as Alakai Todd. And, Mukulis got the start, played pretty much the entire match on Wednesday. And you hear Charlie talking about he's a much more different type of opposite than you saw with Rado Parapunov, was just a big, strong 6'9" lefty. Describe the differences between the two and what Mukulis brings to the floor.
Well, Mukulis is definitely a little different. He's got that really fast arm, a lot different than Rado. He's be able to play that fast set, and whereas Rado just wanted to go high and up over the block, see the block, go around it to the block. This guy goes high up the hands real quick. It's really difficult to block.
And he's a guy that missed all of last year, had a broken ankle, I think it was, and sat out. So he's still, I guess, in that, not learning stage, but still trying to get back up to where he possibly could be, which could be really good.
Yeah, and he's considered a freshman because that was a freshman, a redshirt year for him as well. And Alakai Todd, he's got the size and physicality. They're just trying to get him up to speed and get him involved somehow in the offense in the front court. He's got the size, and he continues to develop as a player on the team.
All right, so those are the opposites. You saw the left sides. It's now time to take a break. But when we come back, we're going to focus on one of those left side hitters, Chaz Galloway. You're watching Game On, presented by Bank of Hawaii.
This year, I'm hopeful for becoming an All-American. That's one of my goals. I got the championship down. And I think I just want to become an All-American. That's like one of the last goals that I have. But becoming an overall better player, leader, helping younger guys, all of that comes with it. But I guess my New Year's resolution would be an All-American.
Well, I think we're all hoping that resolution comes true for Chaz Galloway. Welcome back to Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center, #1 Hawaii, rematching with the 7th-ranked Ramblers of Loyola, Chicago. No question, Chaz Galloway has improved from a year ago. He's also, as you heard, trying to make a statement this season.
He really has improved his game. His reception skills are impressive. He's really at a passing the ball well for us, really consistently. His serve has been pretty effective. While it's not the 70-mile-an-hour knock guys over, but he's got good hand on ball and again puts it in bounds at a really high percentage. His point scoring is impressive, and he jump touches 11-9, right? So he can hit the bic at an angle that just teams can't really prepare for. You don't have a lot of guys that have that fast jump, fast arm, and can make contact that high. And then, obviously in the front row, when you jump that high, you can just set him high and tight on top of the antenna, and he's going to go over a lot of blocks for sure.
Definitely passing. That was the biggest change for me in college, is getting down on passing, because that starts everything. That starts the offense. That keeps you in system all night. The mental side of it just came along with it as I progressed through my career, learning new shots and learning just new ways to combat, like getting blocked or making mistakes. That just comes with maturity and reps and stuff like that.
All right, let's take a look at some of the numbers from a year ago for Chaz Galloway. Had a pretty solid rookie campaign for the Rainbow Warriors, the sophomore out of San Diego, California. And of course, Kupono, you played that position for a little bit for the University of Hawaii. What makes a good outside hitter?
Just steady. He's just being really steady right now, passing the ball really well and hitting the ball at a high rate. That's all you want as an outside. He's really impressive being able to jump the way he does and have that ability to have that fast arm so that people can't press the block on him and have to just try and reach for the ball.
Talk about the two different left side hitting positions, because what are you looking from him, more offense or more passing?
Right now, I think he's trying to take on the role of Colton Cowell and trying to get that role of being more offensive. We got Spears coming in. He's the younger guy. He's kind of got to be that steady guy that just helps with the passing. He did a really good job serving, being consistent, being the most consistent server on Wednesday. And I think Chaz just got to be that offensive attacker. I want to see him more on the pipe from last year, which they're super effective on.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you look at Chaz Galloway, he's just dripping with athletic ability. It's pretty fun to watch him, particularly how high he gets up.
Yeah, he's very gifted athletically, and he's very undersized as well. One of the things that I think he's got going for him is that COVID actually helped him, in my mind. He got an extra year. He played with players that were significantly older than him. He had to hit around a huge block, and Patrick Gassman and Rado Parapunov. And he learned so much from that core group of players that he had to evolve pretty quickly, and he did. He's a quick learner. He's hungry. He wants it on the statement of, I want to become an All-American. He sets his goals high, and he is going to go after it at all costs.
You look at him, you think to yourself, he definitely can become an All-American, don't you think?
Oh, yes. No, definitely he can. He can definitely do it, and he's proven. I mean, he came in as a freshman, but again, I think that COVID year actually really helped him in a sense of getting his passing a lot more stable and more consistent. His volleyball IQ just soared through that year.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to start talking about the rematch. But a reminder, get the greatest plays, hardest hits, and schedule info by following Spec Sports High on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You're watching Game On, presented by Bank of Hawaii. And there you see the Terraflex here at Simplify Arena at Stan's Sheriff Center. Both teams getting ready for the matchup in about 15 minutes or so. Hawaii and Loyola Chicago. Let's take a look at the leaders for the Ramblers from 2 nights ago. And Slothauer, he really is the go-to guy, maybe the best outside hitter in the MIVA. And then you also had Lyons and Brooks as well playing pretty well 2 nights ago.
Definitely, and I think this team struggled a little bit offensively. Their numbers were a little lower than they normally produce. They hit at 169. I think tonight look for more higher hitting percentage.
All right, it's time now for the watch list. And what I want both of you to do is tell me, who should we keep an eye on? Lisa, you go first for Hawaii tonight.
Well, I'm going to say Spiros Hakas because I think that this young man has really come on strong. He had an excellent night the first night out. We have not seen much of him. He had started 4 matches prior to last night. He came on strong. He's hitting outside. He's passing. He's serving. He's playing defense. He's a 6th rotation player that I think is doing a really nice job for the team. He's one of those players that kind of goes unnoticed a little bit, but he does all the little things. You hear all the other names. You hear Jakob Tella, you hear Chaz Galloway, all these names you hear, but so many of them are new to us. But I think he's doing a fabulous job, number one, but also he's a primary passer position. So I think we need to watch out for him.
All right, you say Hakas, Kupono. Who do you say?
Yeah, I was going to say Spiros as well, but I'll go with the other Greek. I'll go with Dimitrios Mushdas. I'm really excited to watch this guy. He got 25 attempts, the most out of anyone. He hit 280 on the night, but I'm expecting him to hit an even higher percentage tonight, especially once they get Voss going in the middle. He's going to get a lot more one-on-ones. It's going to be exciting to see him tonight.
Yeah, and I wonder if he feels any pressure having to fill that spot of Rado Parapunov. I mean, you can't really expect that.
I don't think he feels that at all. I think these guys are just so hungry. And the Greeks, let me tell you, they got some serious experience. They have played at the junior national level for their teams. They've played in all kinds of international events. In high school, they led their teams. They were most valuable players. They were most offensive. They were highly recruited in the United States of America, both of them, and they're both contributing significantly to this team.
If you don't mind, I'm going to throw out my watch list contender. He's not on the floor, but he kind of is. James Anastasiadis. Since we're going to stick with the Greek theme, of course, James sitting in where you sat all during the Wahine volleyball season, and tonight will be his first chance to do a little color next to Kanoa. I thought that'd be fun, just since we had a Greek theme, and plus I'm a big fan of their yogurt.
Yeah.
All right, what else do you need to see from Hawaii tonight that maybe you didn't see 2 nights ago?
One thing, like I mentioned before, running that big. I want him to run a little more of that big, open up the offense, maybe get Voss going a little better. And I think they dominated on Wednesday. Except for the serving, I think they just need to keep it in sometimes and let their big block just try and make some points and go back and win some rallies.
What about that second middle spot? Because we saw that was one of the spots where they didn't really get a lot of production.
Yeah, well, that's the big question mark. They are going to struggle in that spot right now, but Cole Hegelin did a great job coming in he turned the block on big time. Hawaii only had 2 blocks after the first match, and at the end of the evening, they had 9.5 blocks. And I think that, like Charlie said in his pregame interview, he said, time will tell what's going to show here. It's just getting the guys on the court and seeing who rises to the occasion and who produces.
Yeah, and I thought, Max Rosenfeld got the start. He got some opportunities last year. He looked like the heir apparent. It's early, and so Cole Hoagland went in there. Hoagland came in there. He played as well. You also have Mark Presho's son, who transferred from Stanford. So they have some horses in the stable.
Yeah, I think Skylar Presho, who played 4 years at Stanford and transferred in, will probably get an opportunity real soon. He's trying to still get his connection going with Jakob Tella. So there are many opportunities. It's still very early in the season. They've got 16 home games alone.
Yeah, there's definitely, Charlie has a lot of options, and that's really good to hear. In the middle position, the outside position, the opposites, and they just have so much depth. We'll see what happens tonight. We'll see if Max gets the start, and we'll see what comes out and ends the match tonight.
Real quick, key tonight for Hawaii.
Serving. I think serving. Just keeping the ball in balance.
Lisa, when you say passing, yeah. All right, the three of us will be back at intermission, but coming up next, the anthem, Hawaii Ponui, first serve Hawaii, Loyola Chicago with Kanoa and James.
And outside hitter 6'3", sophomore from San Diego, California, number 1, Chaz Galloway. And libero 6'2", sophomore from Newport Beach, California, number 4, Fred Stewart. And middle blocker 6'8", senior from San Clemente, California, number 8, Kyler Presho. And opposite, 6'6", sophomore from Soufli, Greece, number 11, Dimitrios Mouklias. And outside hitter, 6'7", junior from České Budějovice, Czech Republic, number 16, Filip Humler. And middle blocker, 6'7", sophomore from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, number 21, Guilherme Voss. And at center, 6'6", junior from Tonsberg, Norway, floor captain, number 10, Jakob Tella. The volunteer assistant is Chad Giesman. Assistant coach, Joshua Walker. Associate coach, Milan Zarkovic. Head coach for your Rainbow Warriors, Charlie Wade.
Despite losing 4 All-Americans from last season's national championship team, Hawaii swept 7th-ranked Loyola Chicago to score the program's 9th straight season-opening win. Veteran setter Jakob Tella wowed the crowd as the Norwegian native tallied 33 assists, 2 kills, 6 aces, and was in on 4 Hawaii blocks. Up next, the Hana-Ho rematch between the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago and the top-ranked Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. And with that, we welcome you inside Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center. Kanoa Leahy sitting next to James Anastasiadis. James, take us through the Kaiser Permanente keys to the match.
The Ramblers are going to have to do a much better job tonight, serving tough, getting Hawaii out of system, while Hawaii is going to have to keep doing a good job slowing down Schlotthauer.
Yeah, Cole Schlotthauer, who had 10 kills, 31 swings a couple of nights ago, hit 129. Hawaii would sweep Loyola Chicago, and boy, did the Warriors come out in impressive fashion in that opening frame the other night. They won 25-14 in the first, and they sided out at a 100% clip. It will be the Ramblers serving first here, off to an 0-1 start this young season. Out of the Midwestern Intercollegiate Volleyball Association, in the first serve from Garrett Zolg, a Huntington Beach guy like yourself, James. Misses the floor wide, though, and it's a Hawaii point to start. The Hawaiian Financial FCU starting lineups. Scrolling at the bottom of your screen, you'll notice a couple of changes from a couple of nights ago, as in the starting rotation for Hawaii, Philip Humler, the 6'7" junior outside hitter from Czech Republic. And also we will be seeing at the other middle position, Kyler Presho, another Presho, donning the Hawaii men's volleyball uniform. We'll get into that when he takes the floor. In transition, it's a high ball set to Chaz. Galloway goes deep corner, and Hawaii, just like that, up the deuce.
Chaz Galloway showing us what he does best, just skying high and up and over the block into the deep corner. What a great swing by the young player for Hawaii.
Yeah, he averaged 2.18 kills per set last year. 11 kills, just one error, hit 476 on Wednesday night. And here is Jakob Tella. Scored 6 aces from the service line. And he keeps it going, make it 7 on the season. This guy is just a Terminator from behind the line.
He really is, and the really cool thing to see about Jakob Tella was his progression in the Hawaii lineup. He did start as a serving sub, being one of the most efficient servers on the team, coming in as a freshman, and now we're seeing it's paying off 3 years later.
6'6" junior from Tønsberg, Norway. And 6 aces, 7 digs, 4 blocks, 33 assists. That's another laser beam that forces the overpass. Hawaii with the advantage. It's Guilherme Voss, but it can't put it down, but it comes back over the net. So Tella goes back to Voss. Good dig there by Zolg. Little joust above the tape. And Loyola Chicago keeps it going. They go transition to Schlotthauer, and he's able to tool the block for a Rambler point, and they're able to break the ice. There were a few odd looks from the Hawaii side of the net at the top official Dixon Chun, but ultimately everybody in agreement that Schlotthauer got the touch.
We did see that. That's one play that the Ramblers really like, is tooling off the block out of bounds. A very smart play by.
And here is Schlotthauer to serve down the line. It's Philip Humler with the first touch. Backside set. Galloway against a solo block attempt. And it was Colton Brooks on the other side of the net. And it was all Chaz Galloway. Just otherworldly bounce to this guy.
Yeah, Chaz Galloway is an athlete to be reckoned with. We've seen since his freshman year, he's one of the most athletic people in the gym. And it's so exciting to see him go up and wait till he comes down.
Well, Big West Conference honorable mention last season out of San Diego, California. And that's our first look at Parker Van Buren. He got a healthy amount of opportunities the other night as well. 6'9" sophomore from Cross Plains, Wisconsin. He has transitioned back and forth between the opposite position and the outside hitter position. Here he was again on the opposite pin at 5 kills on 22 attempts, but he hit negative numbers, hoping to better that obviously here in round 2. It's a behind the head set to Guilherme Voss. Not exactly as scripted, but they still made it work.
No, but that's a very smart play by Voss, not trying to push that set that was a little off and making the smart play, forcing the Ramblers to scramble for it and unfortunately not getting it up.
Voss, 6'7" sophomore from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. He was fantastic the other night. 10 kills on 13 attempts, 1 error, hit 692, also had 3 blocks. High ball set outside, it's Brooks. He goes off the triple block of Hawaii and out. And so Loyola Chicago back within 2-3, serving 5 here in set 1.
Now serving Van Buren.
Colton Brooks had 5 kills, hit 182, 8 digs the other night for Loyola Chicago. 6'4" junior from Pleasanton, California. Heavy-handed when it comes to his arm swing. Outside set goes to Humler. And that's dug up along the back line by Schlotthauer. Here's Brooks again off the block, and this time it goes out across the way. So a couple of good swings there for Colton Brooks, and Loyola Chicago within 1.
Colton Brooks, obviously someone that Hawaii is going to have to watch out tonight. He has made an automatic impact when he came in last year for his first season, having a big impact on the Ramblers team.
And so the crowd trying to turn up the volume knob just a tad here on this Friday evening affair at the arena as that serve goes long. And Hawaii gets a freebie, so Demetrius Muklias will now rotate back behind the service line.
It's really good to see Muklias back after taking 1 year off recovering from an ankle injury. He did stay home in Greece last year. Unfortunately, was away from the team, but we did see that he was putting in a lot of work in the offseason and is ready to play this year.
Oh, trying to go over on 2 was the setter Zog, was blocked by Umler, and then it hovered up there just long enough for Jakob to get offensive with it.
Jakob Teller is just really fun to watch, and his athleticism up there on the net keeps the blockers of any opponent that they play on their toes, not sure what he's going to do.
It was fun just prior to the match listening to you and Kupono Faye, part of our on-air team here this evening, just talking volleyball. And when it came to Jakob Tella, it was an interesting observation that you both had where you said he's almost a combination of Jennings Franciskovic and Joe Worsley.
Yeah, we see that Jakob Tella has the athleticism that Jennings Franciskovic had, one of the highest verticals in UH history, but he has the speed that Joe Worsley had and the defensive plays that Joe Worsley would create, being able to get to balls and shooting it to the opposite side of the pin, allowing his hitters to do what they do best.
Yeah, maybe a podcast in the future, you and Kupono?
I think so, but you know what? Shout out to Joe and Gage and Michael Ma. They're doing a great job.
And that was a beautiful set there from Tella to Kyler Presho. Hello, Kyler, a 6'8" senior transfer from Stanford. Yes, he is the son of that Presho, Mark Presho, who had 1,582 kills in his Hawaii career, second all time. Welcome back. There's an exciting new way to watch Spectrum Sports on the go. The Spectrum News app has the local sports you love and the news and weather that matter most to you. Download today on the App Store or Google Play. So Hawaii up a handful here in set 1. They're hitting .556, error-free so far in the early goings. You have on the other side Loyola Chicago hitting .429, but already a Jakob Tella ace. And we just saw a hammer dropped by the new incoming middle hitter. Spent 4 years at Stanford, 4-time All-MPSF selection, Kyler Presho.
Kyler Presho is going to be a lethal weapon for Hawaii, whether he starts or whether he comes in, because Hawaii, as we can see, has a lot of depth this year. And like Charlie Wade likes to say, what is depth if you don't use it?
Outside set goes to Brooks, took something off, sliding save by Brett Sheward, but it winds up over the net and out of play.
Very smart play by Brooks there. It was not the best set, and he did a very good job just giving a nice little shot to the corner with 3 blockers up.
So 5 serving 9 here. Early on in set 1, Hanaho rematch of the Hawaii sweep on opening night on Wednesday. Oh, the big set to Chaz Galloway. We did not see much of that the other night from Hawaii, but that is something that worked in droves a season ago.
I agree with you, and the big was something that I was surprised not to see last night because it was a staple of Hawaii last year, but Chaz Galloway on the big is very scary to watch. It's like hitting a 2-ball from the front row.
I mean, it's like he's lifting off of a trampoline.
Yeah.
Here's Schlotthauer, deep corner and in.
Schlotthauer, great force for the Ramblers and does a great job getting his feet to the ball and hitting those deep corners against Hawaii's big block, Jakob Tella and Kyler Presho.
And Schlotthauer, who was second on the Rambler squad last year, 3.8 kills per set. D-set goes to Muklias. Couldn't put it down. Shows Schlotthauer, tough angle. He just has to two-hand it over. So advantage here for Hawaii. Tella, D-set, back to Dimi. And a net violation against Loyola Chicago. Either way you slice it, it's a Hawaii point.
That's really exciting to see the speed that Jakob Tella is running on that back set this year. Something very different from what we saw last year with Rado Parapunov, forcing him to just reach high and use his power. They're running it very fast, back set, and he's allowed to just take that very good step close and open season.
You also saw that jump set by Tella where he went up with a possible intention of taking a swing at it just to keep the other team honest.
Always, and that's the great thing that Jakob Tella has. Being a lefty setter, it is very easy for him to go up and open to the court and take a swing. It keeps the middles on their toes, whether he's going to hit, whether the middle's going to hit, or whether he's going to set one of the pins.
Out ball there by Parker Van Buren, and so Kyler Presho once again to serve. Started all 81 of his career matches at Stanford. averaging 1.5 kills per set, hit .418, average 0.8 blocks per set as Tella got a hand on that Schlotthauer tip shot, and it goes off of Tella and into the pin.
Schlotthauer showing that he has a lot of tools in his toolbox, coming in with roll shots, tips, and great swings to the deep corner.
And that was Jennings Franciscovich-like with the one-hand block attempt there by Jakob.
One of the best blocks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
ESPN top 10, actually.
That's right. That's right. It made it. We were campaigning for Chaz Galloway's kick save the other night to get up there.
Galloway could have a lot of ESPN top 10 moments.
Here's Schlotthauer. Caught it fat. Was there a touch up front? No touch. Point Hawaii. 13-7 here in the first. How are you feeling about the rhythm so far we're seeing on the Hawaii side of the net?
We're seeing that Hawaii is coming out very dominant and efficient. And one thing that I do enjoy seeing Hawaii doing a better job of is the serving, because that is one thing that Coach Charlie Wade has always pressed on, is when they serve above 90%, they tend to win games. Last night, they did not do such a good job of it, but they were probably just shaking off a lot of the nerves. First home game, awesome to see fans back in the stands, playing in front of their home crowd, who helps motivate them to do well.
Schlotthauer getting the kill. And that's not just a big kill because it gets him a point, and, you know, that's now his fourth put down, but it gets them out of the rotation with Jakob Tella serving immediately.
Yes, and usually row one is a pretty hard rotation for a lot of teams because you have your opposite hitting on the left side where they're not used to it, but Chaz Galloway getting blocked there, but last night did a great job hitting in the back.
Yeah, the stuff. First block of this match, in fact. And Colton Brooks getting up there and getting a piece of it. Was right next to Andrew Lyons, but it was definitely Colton Brooks who got the gist. So here is Schlotthauer to serve. Took a little something off there. Umler, picture perfect on the pass, and then picture perfect on the connection once again between Tella and Voss.
A UH staple to be running that 3-ball in row one. I remember Joe Horsley and Patrick Gassman used to do it all the time because it opens up that middle. It keeps them on their toes. They're not sure whether they're going to have to run back to the outside. It's a very smart play to run in row one when you don't have your opposite hitting that 2-ball.
14 serving 9, and Galloway trying to go line. It misses wide, so a point there for Loyola Chicago. Yeah, Charlie Wade was talking about the connection in the run-up to this season between Jakob Tella and Guilherme Voss, and he said it's just been awesome to see how they have been on the same frequency for some time now, and we're seeing it come to fruition here in match.
Especially since that national championship, seeing Guilherme Voss being so dominant on the net, whether it was blocking or hitting, was incredible to see, and we keep seeing it now against the Ramblers.
Timeout on the floor. Hawaii up by 5. Welcome back. Let's go inside the numbers presented by Long's Drugs, and the number is 9. That's the consecutive season opening victories for Hawaii after the sweep victory over Loyola Chicago on Wednesday. In fact, Hawaii now 35-9 all-time in season openers, 11-2 under that guy Charlie Wade. And as mentioned, they have now won 9 straight as Jack Walmer, 6'3" redshirt freshman from Manhattan Beach, California, into the match and back to serve for Hawaii out of the timeout. Right side, it goes to Van Buren through the block and down. We're seeing a little bit more efficiency, at least certainly in this opening set, as compared to set 1 2 nights ago from the Ramblers.
I agree, and a lot more spread offense. They are running the opposite a lot more, and Van Buren being a lot more efficient than he was last night, where he did hit negative. He is now hitting.
That's kill number 2 for him, so he's flatlining at the moment, but you're right, he's not in negative numbers. And the out serve, though, by Van Buren gets it right back to Hawaii, so Muklius will now serve.
We're also seeing a little bit of a reverse role on the service line. Hawaii being a lot more efficient than the Ramblers right now, but like we said in the pregame, they do have to try and get Hawaii out of system to create a much more struggle from the offense.
Good pass there by Brooks, gets the set on the outside, blocked back by Fresho. They go back out to Brooks, this time over the block and a little too hot to handle for Chaz Galloway.
Something that's very fun to watch the past 2 nights is the speed on the offense to the pins. Both Jakob Tella and Garrett Zolg are running a very fast offense, especially to the outsides, causing the hitters to have one, maybe no block up.
Well, Jakob Tella, I think, has establish himself as one of the top setters in the country for sure. And Garrett Zolg is as decorated as just about any setter out there as Umler hammers it down to get the side and the point back to Hawaii. But Garrett Zolg, the fifth-year senior for Loyola Chicago, this is a 3-time AVCA All-American and 3-time All-MIVA first-teamer, one of just 6 Ramblers all-time with over 3,000 career assists.
Garrett Zolg and Kyle Pressure were actually teammates on the U.S. Collegiate National Team when they did go to Italy to compete in the Collegiate World Championships. So it's very fun to see them against each other tonight.
Yeah, reunion of sorts right through the net as that hit by Van Buren goes wide, and Hawaii up a half dozen here. You have some familiarity with Garrett Zolg as well.
I do. I actually coached Garrett Zolg his 18 years. He played with my brother who played at Long Beach State, Alexander Anastasiadis, and they came 5th. And the very fun thing about Garrett Zolg is, and you can see it on the court, he's very intense but a very hard worker. And we can see it being 6'3" and one of the top setters in the country, being one of the only people out of 6 to have more than 3,000 assists in the Ramblers history. Just shows to prove you what kind of athlete he is.
Yeah, but you can't set it if you can't pass it. And right there it was Philip Umler dealing the ace out of the deck. And this is the largest lead of this first set for Hawaii. 19-12, forcing another Loyola Chicago timeout.
Hawaii just doing a much better job today about being efficient from the service line. And it is very exciting to see Philip Humler back out there again. I think it's giving Hawaii a different look and being able to go to someone when they are out of system. Philip Humler being notorious. We did see it in that last game that he had against BYU 2 years ago. He is a lethal weapon for Hawaii when it comes to out-of-system swings.
Umler from Czech Republic had 2 kills on 3 swings Wednesday, but it was a tumultuous year last year for him. He was coming off of an illness. He had lost a ton of weight. He just wasn't himself. And so while he was able to get nominal time out there on the floor, we're seeing now a Philip Umler who is much more game ready.
I couldn't agree with you more, and it's really exciting to see him healthier and see him put on the muscle that he used to have on. He did tell me that over the summer he got into CrossFit.
Oh.
Yes, him and his dad would go to the CrossFit gyms together, and it's exciting to see him in the condition that he is in and healthy and back, taking very aggressive swings.
And then there's always that guy, right? Milan Zarkovic, who is just a tremendous character in association with this program. Josh Walker, the other assistant. We haven't talked much about these guys yet this year, but they have been by Charlie's side here for several years, and they have helped contribute to this now very established championship caliber, obviously, as we saw come to fruition last year, culture within the Rainbow Warrior volleyball program.
Couldn't agree with you more, and they do so much that goes behind the scenes, that goes unnoticed, that the people do not see to create such a great championship team.
D-set goes to Van Buren through the block.
Van Buren doing a great job tonight about being a lot more efficient than last night, and Zolg doing a good job trusting him and setting that back set a lot more often. We see him taking a good high swing off the hands out of bounds.
Just got right through the arms of Chaz Galloway that time. So the serve now by Jimmy Meinhardt, and it goes long. So that is service error number 5 for Loyola Chicago. They have no service aces, and you're right. I think obviously the intention is to serve tougher, take a few more risks perhaps. It has not paid off to this point.
I agree with you, and it's tough because there's a fine line between serving tough but making too many errors. I like to think when you're going 1-for-1 service ace to error, it is worth it, but now the Ramblers need to dial it back down a little bit and give them their defense a chance to play. And Kanai Kana doing something that we do not see too often from him, serving into the net.
Kana, 6'5" junior out of Punahou, transfer from BYU into the twine there. So Hawaii still up 6, 14 serving 20. Garrett Zolg will try to see if he can do something from the service line. Had a team best 35 aces a year ago. His numbers were just unbelievable, leading the team in assists, aces, and digs. As Galloway tries to go hard off the block, but he gets stuffed. And that is the second Rambler roof of this first set. Interestingly enough, we have not seen a Hawaii roof yet in this match.
Obviously, the Ramblers have done a good job scouting the Hawaii offense and being a lot more aggressive to the pins and being very patient with Chaz Galloway as he does jump very high, being a little bit more patient and jumping a little later after he does, being there on time when he swings.
And into the net it goes from Zolg. That was Andrew Lyons who got most of that last block, by the way. He had a solo stuff the other night as well. But now marching back behind the service line, it is must-see TV whenever Jakob Tella is back there. And the crowd at attention. Already with an ace in this set. Good serve, but a good pass as well. Middle set pushed just down that sideline by Andrew Lyons. He just found that open floor. Almost missed it, but he was able to get enough of the line.
What a great set by Zol, getting to that pass that was pushed to the outside and pushing it, forcing the middle to make a play out of what was a great set.
And Schlotauer. Tella with some options, goes middle to Voss, always a good option. Pinballed around and returned, but sent out. And it's a point for Hawaii.
The connection that Jakob Tella and Voss have on that one ball is amazing. How fast Voss is up and hitting it straight out of the hands of Jakob Tella. It's very hard for the other middle blocker to be up on time, forcing them to commit.
Already 6 players in the kill column for Hawaii. Galloway and Voss, the only Hawaii players with more than 1 kill. They each have 3, as that one is bounced off the Terraflex by Andrew Lyons. He's starting to awaken here at this juncture of set 1. Hawaii still up 5, though.
Andrew Lyons also doing a great job, obviously bringing a lot of energy to his team after that swing. We see where he bounces it in front of Jakob Tella.
Yeah, Lyons listed as an outside hitter, but playing that middle position. This is a Loyola Chicago roster that is just laced with outside hitter options.
Outside hitters that are playing in different positions, even an outside hitter playing libero.
That's right. Jack Yentz, one of the tallest liberos you'll ever see at 6'6".
Which I do not think is a bad thing. He can reach to a lot of balls when it comes to defense.
Free chance here for Hawaii. Tella goes backside. Muklius through the double block and down. That's kill number 2 for Dimi. And Hawaii closing in here in the first.
Dimitris Muklias doing a great job on that back set in area 2, filling in a big role of Rado Parapunov last year.
Yeah, that is a big role. Large shoes, literally and figuratively, to fill.
Yeah.
Right side. Off the block, the save by Voss. Here's Umler with 2 blockers against him. He gets blocked and roofed, as we saw a couple of quick hit touches on the Hawaii side, and they were unable to forge a return there.
The Ramblers doing a great job tonight. That is their 3rd block of the night. Hawaii having 0. They're being a lot more aggressive when it comes to defense, and we can see that they're scrambling for a lot of plays. They came to play tonight.
There's Van Buren, 18 serving 23. Good adjustment there by Galloway. High and away it goes to Umler. And a little blasty blast from Philip.
Philip Hummer and Jakob Tella actually have a great connection, considering that their freshman year, they did play together an entire year in the practice gym on the B side, or what Charlie Wade likes to call it more, the A+ side.
That's right. Yeah, that is some high competition, A versus B, quote unquote, in the practice gym.
It really is, and the hard thing about the Hawaii team is when they are practicing, you are looking at potential. What a swing by Jakob Tella, dug up by Van Buren. Back set to Dimi. Dimi is roofed.
Colton Brooks with the stuff on Muklius. How about the dig on the Tella swing with no blockers up? It was a supercharged hit. And the Ramblers were still able to stay in the point.
What an incredible dig by Van Buren, just getting low, and a great solo block by Colton Brooks.
Brooks with the serve. Umler the pass. It goes back row to Chaz Galloway. Up the ladder and down the chute it goes. Hawaii takes set 1, 25-19. They hit well over 300. In fact, 360 to be exact. Chaz Galloway leading the Warriors with 4 first-set kills. Welcome back. Time now for the Hawaii Honda Dealers highlight reel. And this guy puts together a highlight reel just about every single time he takes the Terraflex. Chaz Galloway with a team-high 4 kills, hitting 286, and just getting up into the stratosphere.
It's exciting to see Hawaii run that big play with Chaz Galloway a lot more tonight, something that we did not see at all last night. And with his athleticism, how can you not run it?
Hawaii hitting 360 in that opening set. But if you look at the Loyola Chicago stats, James, they out-hit with a percentage of 409. They out-blocked Hawaii 4-0. They out-dug Hawaii 8-3, and yet they lost by 6. And you very quickly pointed out one stat that tells the story.
The service errors that the Ramblers have, as we did say, they had to come out a lot more aggressive from the service line to get Hawaii out of system. But 6 service errors in one set is a lot compared to Hawaii's 2 service errors, but with 2 aces. That 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah. 6 service errors. They end up losing by 6, despite the advantage in some of those categories as mentioned. So, yeah, that's pretty straightforward right there. We'll see if the Ramblers can clean that up and give themselves an opportunity here in set 2.
That is the game of volleyball. The team that makes the less errors tends to win. When you're causing a lot of errors, either from the service line, whether it's hitting, you're just giving free points for the other team to play. I would like to see the Ramblers put the ball in a little bit more in play and trusting their good defenses, like we've seen tonight, to make plays and causing Hawaii to actually earn their points.
Well, Jakob Tella did have an ace in that first set, but Ramblers did a pretty good job of siding out against him the last couple times through the rotation, but he will serve first here in the second frame. And the Ramblers out of system. From behind the line is Van Buren, took a little something off. Umler with the dig. So Tella goes high and away. It's Galloway. Got a touch, got the point. Kill number 5 for Chaz.
As we've said all night, I am loving the speed that Hawaii is running to that outside position, something that we haven't seen in a lot of years. Since the 2010s, I've heard, where Chaz Galloway is getting a very good step close to that ball and just swinging high hands off the block.
Another good serve by Tella. Again, Ramblers out of system. Van Buren from behind the line tried to go soft touch on it. Into the net it went. And Hawaii up 2-0. It is such an advantage to have a weapon like Jakob Tella behind the service line, especially at the onset of some of these sets, right?
It really is. And what's hard when it comes to a lefty jump serve is the tail that it has coming from left to right. In volleyball, there's not too many left-handed servers. And so when you're not used to passing that, it can be very difficult because it's a different look for the passers to look at.
Tella with the save there. Umler wipes with the palms before going high ball to Galloway off the block, and it'll wind up a Hawaii point.
Chaz Galloway doing a great job being patient and taking a very aggressive step close to that high ball set and taking a smart swing high off the hands.
So give the assist to Umler. Give kill number 6 to Chaz Galloway. And it is 3-0 here in the second. Pass tight to the net. They go back row to Brooks. The tip shot popped up by Galloway. Diving bump set goes to Umler from the back row. And the player who Charlie Wade describes as being maybe the best out-of-system hitter on this roster, Philip Umler, comes through out of system again.
We see Philip Humler doing a great job being patient, taking an aggressive step close, and taking a very smart swing high hands. I guarantee you if those blockers would have dropped their hands, that ball might have been out.
How about that set, too? The effort on that second touch by Jakob Tella.
Like we said, the athleticism of Jennings Franciscovich, but the setting of Joe Worsley, making incredible plays that not a lot of setters can do.
The bulldoggedness of Joe as well. 4 serving 0. That one tickles the tape and drops for an ace.
Jakob Tella is a force to be reckoned with from that service line. Not only is he aggressive, he is very efficient with it as well.
I mean, what are you going to do about that? You're already on your heels waiting for this laser beam serve with movement and action, and then it tickles the tape. 5 serving 0. And that one was more traditional. We don't have the radar gun out, but that thing would be pushing up the digits, no doubt. Ace number 3 for Jakob. Timeout, Loyola Chicago.
Hawaii on a 6-point run after Jakob Tella's ace serve. Here to show you why Jakob Tella's service is so lethal. We see that it comes over the right shoulder and then curls to the right in this replay.
Yeah, that's just wicked. That is nasty.
Starts on Colton Brooks' right shoulder and ends on his left. It's very hard to track a serve like that, especially when it's coming 60+ miles an hour at you.
Yeah, that one had a little extra chili pepper water on it right there. 6 serving 0 out of the timeout. Another tough serve, another out-of-system bump set. Schlotthauer blocked and rove. The first block of the match for the Rainbow Roofers.
Chaz Galloway. Loyola substitution, number 19, Dan Rambler. Number 13, Garrett Zoll.
And so some substitutions now on the side of Loyola Chicago, as they actually bring in Dan Mangan, the 6'4" sophomore and reserve setter. One-hand set, Van Buren has to soft touch it over. Teller with the save, so the former setter, Shuey, sets up Galloway, and he hits it long. No touch. And a point for Loyola Chicago, but another advantage having Brett Sheward as the libero, the former setter, able to put up some good nectars that time, though Galloway just a little long with it.
It is always good to have 2 setters inside the rotations, and when Jakob Stella is front row, Brett Sheward can also set Jakob because he is lethal with that left hand on the right side.
Mangan, obviously he has a little bit of heat from the service line as well, trying to pump up his teammates as he deals an ace out of the deck.
Coming in at a very stressful situation, I think he is doing everything he can to get the Ramblers back into this game early on in set 2.
2 serving 7. And that one just long. So was that a move by Mark Holtz just to bring in one of their tougher servers? He was actually in prior to rotating behind the line and looks as though he is remaining in the match, replacing Garrett Zolg at the setter position momentarily.
I would say yes, but it also gives Hawaii a different look at a different set. We see Garrett Zolg was setting a little too fast and low for his hitters to make big plays, and we are seeing he is making a huge impact here early in set 2, getting a service ace and running the middles.
Setting up Andrew Lyons there. Yeah, some instant offense there from the sophomore setter out of Joliet, Illinois. And now Schlotthauer to serve down the line and wide. The service errors continuing to mount here for the Ramblers. That's number 8 on the match.
We also see the Ramblers hitting in the negatives now. They started off this set hitting higher than Hawaii was. Hawaii now hitting a 500 on the game, and the Ramblers hitting negative 1.143.
Right side, Van Buren.
Van Buren doing a lot better job tonight about being efficient there on the right side. He's not getting too many kills, but he's also keeping the ball in play, allowing his team to play defense and make more plays out of them.
Yeah, you can see the potential. This is a guy who is referred to by head coach Mark Holtz as a bit of a late bloomer, but you can see the ceiling is high for him as well as the contact point.
At 6'9", how can you not?
Here's Teller. Big to Galloway, and he destroys it. Hawaii gets to 10.
Galloway hitting 1,000 off that big. It is very exciting to see Hawaii run that a lot more often. We did not see it at all last night. And like I said earlier, it's like watching Chaz hit a 2-ball from the front row, but he's back row.
I mean, the ground that he covers in the air is absurd.
It's incredible. And the reach that he grabs is crazy.
Here's Van Buren. Good save along the back line by Galloway. Here he is from the back row. And gets another kill. Chaz Galloway is grooving right now. 8 kills. That is tops in the match. And he's hitting up near 400.
That is one of my favorite plays to see, is a great touch off the block. The back row attacker in the middle, passing and hitting, getting the point for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
You know, talk about covering ground right along the back line for the save, and then gets the set from behind the back line. He's hitting 417 to be exact, is Galloway, as that one was placed down just in front of Kyler Presho by Jimmy Meinhardt.
Randall showing us that he has a lot of tools in his box, in his toolbox with this Ramblers team, and loves to run the middle.
One hand behind the head set there to Meinhardt. So 5 serving 11. And Van Buren into the net. And that's been the bugaboo really for Loyola Chicago. They haven't been able to build any true momentum because of the service errors.
Yeah, I agree with you. And when you are getting great side outs like that last point, but you go back and you don't give your team an opportunity to play defense, it's very hard for your team to get into a rhythm and get your hitters into a rhythm as well.
Here's Umler. Pass by Jens. Outside. It goes to Brooks. Didn't get all of it, so the save by Phillip. And the behind-the-head set to Presho, and he almost took out the line judge.
Kind of pressure being very ambitious with that low set, but I like it. Hawaii being very aggressive right now with their swings, going for everything. Hitting a .429.
6 serving 12. That one handcuffed Shui a little bit. So high ball bump set, Umler to Galloway. Roll shot, gets home. 9 kills now for Chaz, and we're seeing the full array.
We are, and what a smart play by Chaz Galloway, but what an amazing set by Phillip Humler. Over the shoulder, bump setting it. Chaz Galloway showing the Ramblers that he has a lot of tools in his toolbox as well.
13 serving 6. Hawaii hitting 500 in this set, now 394 for the match. Put over on 2 by Mangun. He was forced to do that, and then Muklius on the D set, able to find that back line for another Hawaii point. And hey, look, it doesn't necessarily feel like Hawaii is playing at a razor-sharp level, and yet you look up at the scoreboard against the 7th-ranked team in the country, and they're up 8.
The biggest difference that I see between these two teams tonight is efficiency. Not only from the service line, from the swings in the front row, back row, and their defense is very composed.
The slide play, the dig by Presho. Schlotthauer dug up over the net by Muklius. And then a scramble play here for the Ramblers. They get it over the net, but wide. And it is a point for the Warriors, and Demetrius Muklius able to get it on a stellar save as we get to the media timeout. This was unbelievable. Welcome back. Big West men's basketball coming your way next week. Hawaii hosting UC Irvine Thursday at 6:30. There have been a host of cancellations on both the Hawaii men's and women's basketball sides. We are scheduled to have the Rainbow Wahine on the floor tomorrow night against Cal State Fullerton. So looking forward to seeing them get back in action. And my goodness, Cole Schlotthauer just about put an indention in the floor.
Cole Schlotthauer being a very good weapon for the Ramblers tonight. One of their only players hitting in the positives at 375.
That had a little angst behind it. Here's Tella. Oh, froze the block. They had to stay on Tella because it looked like he had a notion to go over on 2, but sets up Voss for another demolition.
And Guillermet answers.
16 serving 7, and if you're Loyola Chicago, now you got to deal with Jakob Tella's serve.
Someone that you definitely do not want to deal with, starting off this set with 7 serves.
Decent pass there, though. Van Buren able to get out of that rotation quickly.
Van Buren doing a great job tonight, being very efficient in the back row, not hitting in the negatives. He is currently hitting a .067.
Yeah, he is tied with Schlotthauer for the team lead, 5 kills. Remember, had 5 kills for the match the other night. Here's Muklius, standing vert swing. And it is going to result in a Hawaii point. Demetrius Muklius, another guy that's showing some of the elements of the arsenal. Pin to pin.
Muklius doing a great job tonight, just taking high swings and not really swinging into the block. And if he does swing into the block, it is high, giving his team a chance to cover and get another swing out of it.
So here's Galloway to serve. 17 serving 8 here in the second stanza. And that went into the net. That is service error number 3 for Hawaii compared to 9 on the Ramblers side.
I think that is one of the biggest differences tonight. We are seeing that the Ramblers are serving at a 65% inbounds compared to Hawaii's 94%. And as Charlie says, when we serve 90%, they are very good.
Galloway.
And another big fight. Chaz Galloway puts it away, hitting 1,000 from the back row.
It's as if he's being repelled from the rafters. And then just annihilates another picture-perfect set from Jakob Tella.
Eric Galloway showing his athleticism tonight.
And here is our first look at Keone Thim, 6-foot sophomore out of Kalani High School, transfer from Santa Barbara Community College, and I think was a little revved up. Had a little bit of the adrenaline flowing as he pumps the serve long. But this is a guy who has strong ties to this Hawaii program. The grandson of former Hawaii head coach Mike Wilton. That obviously means that uncle and auntie, Aaron and Jen, former Hawaii volleyballers. His cousin, Tui Tuileta.
Keone, very happy to be back home. I've talked to him a lot this year. He is very excited, and the journey that he's been on to get to this program is incredible, showing his work ethic and wanting to be here.
Hawaii keeping that alive after Umler got blocked. And the Ramblers now sending a free chance over for the Warriors. Muklias, the stutter step approach, and he still gets it down.
We saw a little bit of a miscommunication between Muklias and Jakob Tella there. I think they were trying to run a 2-ball while Jakob set it to the pin, but Muklias doing a great job adjusting and putting that ball in play.
You gotta like his game. Demetrius Muklias, who has not only shown his ability offensively, but defensively he's opened some eyes as well.
Demetrius Muklias doing a great job for the Warriors, being efficient in all categories. Like you said, defensively last night had 9 digs. And a great swing by Colton Brooks, high off the hands, bringing the Ramblers back into this game, hoping to bring some energy to them.
Yeah, that triple block was sealed shut, but Brooks doing a great job of playing it to his benefit.
Colton Brooks has a heavy arm, to say the least.
Yeah, we saw him bouncing him up to the scoreboard in warm-ups. As Van Buren able to flip the service script that time, gets an ace trickling off the tape.
The Ramblers' first ace against Hawaii the past 2 nights.
Yeah, so 1 ace. Actually, that's now 2 aces for the Ramblers in this match, but 2 aces to 9 service errors. But they still trail by 7 here, 12 serving 19 as they wipe some perspiration off of the floor. Kyler Presho laid out trying to get that first touch. He's a big fella.
He really is, and he's a great addition to the Rainbow Warriors, coming from Stanford, which is really cool to actually see. Stanford brought the program back,
yeah,
and it's very exciting that we're not losing any volleyball teams.
As that one goes long, yeah, that was an interesting situation, right? Stanford announcing that they were scaling down their athletic program. Men's volleyball, one of the casualties. They would eventually, because of the public feedback and a lot of alums making their opinions known, they decided to bring back those programs, including men's volleyball. But by then, you had players like Kyler Presho who decided to transfer out because there was no team.
And Jalen Jasper, who had transferred to Pepperdine. A great addition for Pepperdine's offense. I saw that he is playing in the outside hitter position, so it's going to be very interesting to see Pepperdine with Jalen Jasper hitting on the outside. Talk about another athletic player.
We mentioned Kyler coming from good stock. Dad Mark, number 2 all-time in career kills at the University of Hawaii, behind Kostas Theoharides. Good serve there, Umler. The overpass, Presho got blocked back. Hawaii in transition, it's Umler, the bump set. Galloway block, good cover there by Tella. Bump set from Shui goes to Galloway. Body's hitting the deck, and we play on in the sequence. Tella going back out to Chaz. Off the fingertips, kept alive by Van Buren. Ramblers on the attack. Van Buren, the tip shot drops.
Van Buren a little excited for that set. Comes in very early, but does a great job getting the ball up and over the net, down on the Hawaii side for a point to the Ramblers. Colton Brooks back to serve, someone that is very lethal for the Ramblers.
Yeah, had 17 aces a season ago. 13 serving 21. Galloway, oh, he sticks the pass, and then Presho gets blocked, rattled around and returned. So the Ramblers now with the advantage. Back row, it's Brooks. And there's an example of that cannon for an arm that Colton Brooks has attached.
The Loyola Ramblers running that big attack that we have not seen too much of tonight. It would be very exciting to see them run it a lot more, keeping Hawaii's block on their toes, being able to open up the pins a little bit more.
So again, with some of the effort we're seeing on both sides, bodies diving all over the place. A few extra moments being taken to wipe some perspiration off of the Terraflex here.
Hawaii doing a great job going for every ball, no matter how big the difference is in the score.
14 serving 21. The crowd trying to raise the level The overpass pounded home by Schlotthauer. And Loyola Chicago on a little 3-0 run. Still down by a half dozen, but you feel the momentum swinging just a tad.
Colton Brooks is doing a great job for the Ramblers, getting them back into this game 1 point at a time, serving aggressive inbounds and also attacking from that back row.
Umler, that's an overpass. This time played by Schlotthauer. Middle set goes to Meinhardt. It's dug up over the net by Umler. And then trying to get the swing down was the setter, Dan Mangun. Probably would have been better served to just go ahead and play that one.
It would have, but Mangun doing a great job showing his aggressiveness of wanting to be here to play, bring his team back into the action.
Yeah, you gotta love the idea of it, the chutzpah, if you will. But it didn't work out that time for Loyola Chicago as we get a look at Makua Marumoto, 6'4" redshirt freshman out of St. Francis. One of the local boys getting some action from the service line, sends it long.
Makua, a very hard worker on this team. I don't know if you could tell, but one of the biggest sophomores probably in college volleyball.
I mean, if you didn't know better, you would think that he was a member of the UH football program, not necessarily the men's volleyball program.
I would agree with you.
He was a heck of a basketball player in high school as well. 2020 graduate of St. Francis, but played athletically because of St. Francis deciding to shut down their sports teams and ultimately the school. He played for Hawaii Baptist Academy, where he was the male athlete of the year his senior year.
And we see that his athleticism is granted. Ramblers with another service error, making it difficult for them to get into a rhythm to stay inside this game. And back to the service line, the person you do not want if you are the Ramblers.
That's right, it's Jakob Tella. 3 aces, coming off of a 6-ace match 2 nights ago. Good pass there by Schlotthauer, though. The set, though, was a little high for Andrew Lyons. They tried to run a play there, and Andrew Lyons just with the paintbrush contact.
Mangun doing a great job spreading the offense. He is running the middles. He is running plays. He's running that back set to Van Buren, keeping Hawaii's blockers on their toes. But Jakob Tella showing his force from the service line.
So aloha ball here for Hawaii. Overpass, Voss says mahalo, nui loa. And Hawaii takes set 2, 25-16. And so in this Hanaho rematch between the #1 and #7 ranked teams in the country, it is the home team Warriors with an opportunity to crack open the broom closet under the Friday night lights. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the Pizza Hut match statistics delivered hot and fresh, and that kill percentage is pretty hot and fresh for Hawaii, James.
Yeah, it really is. Hawaii hitting .426 compared to the Ramblers, .271. But the biggest statistic that stands out to me is the service aces to errors. Hawaii having 4 service aces compared to 5 errors, where the Ramblers only have 2 aces compared to 11 errors, almost giving the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors half a set alone in errors from the service line.
So with that, we welcome you back into Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center next to James Anastasiadis. I'm Kanoa Leahy. What do you anticipate now here in this third set? We saw a change at the setter position for Loyola Chicago. Do you think we will likely see more of that here going forward?
I think that the Ramblers are going to stick with the setter that they have in now, trying not to make too many changes to their lineup, being able to get into a rhythm, and that's what I would like to see from the Ramblers. They haven't given themselves a chance to get into a rhythm tonight, making a couple too many service errors. I think they're going to put the ball in play and force their defense to have a little bit more action.
You are right. They are keeping number 19, Dan Mangun, in. Did not play last season for Loyola Chicago, but replaced Garrett Zolg in that second set at the setter position.
And Max Rosenfeld in for the Rainbow Warriors for Kyler Presho, someone that we saw in the first set two nights ago.
Yeah, Rosenfeld got the start in the opener, played just the first set, and trying to work his bling to make sure that he's good to take the court.
Gotta look good to play good.
That's right. Well, this guy's looking good and playing good. Demetrius Muklius with another kill. And that's another thing that Hawaii has done really well this week in these 2 matches. They have started these respective sets very strong.
They really have, and I think that goes to show how good Jakob Telle's setting has been. Being able to open up his hitters to have one blocker up, making it easy for them to do their job. And something we do not see too often, Jakob Telle serving into the net. The Ramblers probably very happy about that early on in this set 3.
He is human, folks. First service error of the evening for Jakob Telle. Here's Schlotthauer. Shuey with the first touch. Backside set. It's Galloway. Solo stuffed by Colton Brooks. And Loyola Chicago starting this third set in positive fashion.
Colton Brooks has been great for the Ramblers here in the past 15 minutes. He's shown a great job from the service line late in that set too, and now obviously coming out with a bang with that solo block against Galloway.
Nucleus has to take on the second touch. Tella sends a free ball over the net, so big advantage here for the Ramblers. They go middle set and they get it down courtesy Andrew Lyons, and it is 3-1 right now for Loyola Chicago, and you have to appreciate the spark that was provided for them by this backup setter, Dan Mangun.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think Mangun is doing a great job, not only playing great and setting his hitters, being able to do something with the ball, but he's also bringing a lot of energy into this game for them.
And that, unfortunately, though, has been the all too familiar theme for Loyola Chicago in this match. Is every time it seems as though they're starting to put something together, the out serve rears its head. That time, service error number 12, giving it right back to the Warriors. But they give it right back to the Ramblers as Chaz Galloway goes into the net.
Chaz Galloway's been struggling a little bit from the service line the past 2 nights, but something that I think will progress as the season goes on for him. Doing a great job, though, hitting, taking over that Colton Cowell role this season.
There's Lyons with the serve. Tella has to chase it down, goes high ball. Umler out of system against 3 blockers. Now the Ramblers in transition. Van Buren gets a full swing, tools the block. And right now the Ramblers rolling early in set 3.
The Ramblers are not ready to go home tonight, coming out with a lot more energy and making great, efficient, smart swings. Van Buren has been a weapon for the Ramblers tonight. A little quiet, but he is making great plays.
He's flipping the script, getting Hawai'I out of system. Here to start this third set. Tella goes quick away to Umler, and he delivers. And Hawai'I gets point number 3. So into the match comes Max Rosenfeld, the 6'7" junior. Would you believe it, though? This is his 5th year with the program. Yes, I said junior. This is his 5th year with the program.
That is the blessing of what has been a tragic COVID year. It has given a lot of athletes the opportunity not only to grow physically, but also grow mentally with that stuffed triple block. Max Rosenfeld, Philip Hongler, and Dimitrios Muklias. Almost an international block.
The Rainbow Roofing Company bringing the hard hats on that one. And you're right, a lot of international flavor, it must be pointed out, for this Hawai'I team.
We do a common theme for Hawaii. They love to recruit a lot of internationals. We've had Norwegians on the team, English on the team. We've had kids from the Czech Republic, Brazil, with Guilherme. And it's awesome because it creates a sense of culture and it brings a lot of the European and international volleyball experience into the American play.
I mean, you look at some of the greatest players in program history, and they are international players. Kostas Theoharidis from Greece, Yuval Katz from Israel, you have Rado Parapunov from Bulgaria.
Stein von Tilburg from the Netherlands. Yeah. Very international.
The list goes on and on. Here's Rosenfeld getting a crack at it. Outside, Brooks. Brooks is grooving right now. He has 7 kills. He's hitting over 350. He also has 3 blocks. And this guy, when he plays well, it seems to bring the Ramblers to their heights. Also had 8 double-figure kill matches last year. Loyola Chicago went 6-2 in those matches.
We can see Colton Brooks is not only bringing a lot of good technical stuff for his team, but also the energy after getting points. But that has been the Ramblers' problem all night, is the lack of efficiency from the service line, not allowing their defense an opportunity to make plays.
Yeah, you can, even with the mask, almost see the expression of Mark Holson, the frustration that he must be experiencing You take those service errors out of the equation, this may be a whole different match.
Couldn't agree with you more. Dimitrios Muklias on the other hand with a great serve, but Van Buren doing a great job with those back sets here in this third set, keeping his team in the game.
Van Buren now with a team-high 8 kills after this put down.
Hitting .222. Colton Brooks back to serve. Done a great job for the Ramblers tonight. Outside set to Philip Humler. Smart swing in the deep corner.
Here's Van Buren. The dig by Short, but only momentarily.
With a great play again, he is switching up his arm swing. He's tipping it behind the block. He's taking roll shots to the middle of the court. He's hitting deep corners. He's hitting high hands. We're seeing a lot of different swings from him tonight.
9 serving 5. Tella was high ball to Umler. Goes off the block as he falls to his wallet and gets the point anyway. Hawaii within 3 here. But yeah, it does feel like Hawaii is efforting much more here in the third set. They've been out of system the majority of the time, it appears. Have not really been able to lock in and serve receive here so far in this third frame.
And that is where Hawaii is going to do some searching this season. You don't have Rattle Power Punok taking a lot of the heavy lifting from the out-of-system swings. Who is going to be their guy this year to bail them out when they are struggling from the serve-receive line?
Well, Van Buren's been kind of that guy as of late here for Loyola Chicago. That time, though, sliced it a little too thin, missed wide. So after all of that, Hawaii serving 7-9 here in third. Get off to a 2-0 start here in this young title defense season. Umler with a good one. First touch by Jens. They go middle. It's Meinhardt off the block and out.
Gunn doing a great job keeping his middles involved no matter where he is on the court. His middle's doing a great job getting to him, making very good swings off his set.
So here's Jimmy Meinhardt, 6'8" senior from Glen Ellen, Illinois. Ranked 11th in the NCAA last year in blocks per set as a true middle blocker.
And another service errors for the Ramblers, giving it a hard time to stay in this game and allowing them to create some momentum in this third set. Max Rosenfeld back to serve for his first time tonight for the Rainbow Warriors.
Pretty good one. High ball outside. And it'll be a kill for Schlotthauer. Correction, Meinhardt, a sophomore, I should point out.
Schlotthauer has been a little bit quiet for the Ramblers, but what a great swing off a high ball set, high off the hands of the Rainbow Warriors. Mangun, someone that has shown us that he can be lethal from the service line back for the Ramblers right now.
That was a good serve there. Shui doing all he could just to get it up. Here's Muklias from the D position, and he sends it long, no touch.
Something that we have not seen from Muklias too much tonight is errors from his swings.
So this has become the story right now for Loyola Chicago. They turn to their backup setter, Dan Mangun, and he has come in and he has given them a spark. He has set well. He has dispersed his sets wisely, and he has served tough. That went into the net. The velocity that he gets, some of the placement, he can be a problem.
He really can, and he has seemed to be the spark that the Ramblers have needed tonight to keep them in this game. But Jakob Taylor back to serve for the Rainbow Warriors, someone that you do not want on the service line.
9 serving 12. Played along the back line by Jens. They go right side. Schlotthauer blocked back. Middle set, it's Lions. Tella chases down the second touch, and Umler has to dive to keep the sequence alive. Middle set, it's Lions through the block and down.
What great hustle by the Rainbow Warriors, but unfortunately could not finish the play. Jakob Taylor with a great chase down there, keeping the Warriors in play, but Mangun setting the middles.
You also had, James, at the end of that play, what appeared to be Voss and Galloway sort of coming down on one another's shoe. And looked like they were trying to stretch it out a little bit after that near collision. And that was quite the swing there by Dimitrios Muklias as Hawaii treading water at the moment. Still within 3, 10 serving 13, with Chaz Galloway going back behind the line.
Yeah, the Ramblers have done a great job being a lot more efficient from the service line, but also taking great, smart swings and making less errors in this set. And we see the outcome when you do make less errors. They're up by 3 against the Rainbow Warriors.
William Voss still trying to loosen up that left ankle. That'll help, though. That'll give him a little more time as Chaz Galloway delivers the ace.
Great serve by Chaz Galloway, knowing he had to take a little bit off. He's been struggling from the service line all night, but a great, smart move by him to take some off of that.
Serving 13. High toss here from Galloway. Took a little something off that time. They go back row. Schlotthauer dug up by Stewart. Nobody able to get his back. That's another kill for Cole Schlotthauer. He has 9, tied with Van Buren for team high.
Schlotthauer doing a great job for the Ramblers. He was quiet in set 2, but has seemed to be a lot more active here in set 3 for them as they take a 3-point lead against the Rainbow Warriors.
Hawaii hasn't quite been able to catch them yet here in this third frame. Tella, backside, Muklius. And that quick back set, that's such a different looking play than what we would see over the last several years with Rado Parapunov, where it was just high ball, and let the big lefty do his thing. This one is much more direct.
It is, and when you have a 6'9" opposite lefty like Rado Parapunov, you want to make him reach high and over the block, and the power that he had behind his arm swing is one that you don't get too often. As Jack Walmer comes in to serve. Great crossbody serve by him, getting the Ramblers in trouble.
Oh, and a scramble save there, Walmer. Tella was falling to the floor, almost, so couldn't get the set that he wanted. And that was Van Buren, blocked and roofed.
Max Rosenfeld doing what he has done great for the Rainbow Warriors, and coming in and putting them back on the statistical sheet when it comes to blocking. Doing a great job with that triple block. As we said earlier, the European triple block, Czech Republic, America, and Greece.
Hands across the globe there up front for Hawaii. Another good serve there, Walmer. Diving save, Galloway. Nobody had the second touch. It was Tella standing in the middle of the floor. Walmer, the backup setter, had the instinct to go for it. Umler was also in the middle of decision-making. Hawaii down by 2. Well, those are the parents of one of the great middles that has played at this University of Hawaii volleyball program. John on the right, Gene on the left. Gassman, the parents of Pat Gassman, Uncle Pat as he was known around these parts. Of course, part of that national championship effort last year. There's the all-tournament team plaque in his name. Now playing professionally in Brazil.
And the winningest player in UH men's volleyball.
He was around for a while.
He was. 6 years is a long time, but 7 years later, I'm still here.
That's right. Meanwhile, Max Rosenfeld's like, I might be able to get you, Pat Gassman, at some point, as Muklius goes OTT against that Loyola Chicago block. And with all of the sputtering that we've seen on the Hawaii side of the net in this third set, they're right there within a digit.
Hawaii's doing a great job about keeping their composure no matter what the situation is. Even though they are behind, it does not seem like they are. They're doing a great job staying aggressive throughout the entire match. And a weapon for the Ramblers as Colton Brooks puts another kill down for them, keeping them in this game. He has been so efficient for the Loyola team tonight.
Yeah, third year with the program. Didn't play in 2020, Colton Brooks. MIBA all-academic team that year, though. Blasts the serve. Here's Muklius, the broad drum from behind the line, and then pushed over by Tella on the second touch. So chance here for the Ramblers. Schlotthauer down the line, diving save, Galloway. Muklius centers it, and we play on in the rally. Mangun over on 2, caught him napping. And this guy is a feisty one.
Mangun having a huge impact, but what an amazing save by Chaz Galloway there, and Dimitris Muklias bringing it back into play, and Mangun with a great dump, catching the Rainbow Warriors sleeping there.
You see some of that emotion, that energy that he has brought. It has been palpable. And then the ace by Colton Brooks.
The Ramblers doing a much better job here in this set, staying not only aggressive, but also efficient from the service line, and we see the difference that it can make.
Charlie Wade signaling for a timeout. Hawaii in danger of losing a set for the first time this young season. Welcome back. A look at Charlie Wade in his 13th season. A 61-5 record over the last 3 years. Just phenomenal numbers. Such a high level for this volleyball program, including that national championship effort a season ago. But they trailed by 4 here in the third. Umler laying the wood, but it gets dug up. Played over the net by Tella. So Shui bump sets to Umler, and he hits it long. And Hawaii now down by 5.
The biggest lead that the Ramblers have had all night against the Rainbow Warriors, and we are seeing that they are struggling out of system right now. With Colton Brooks back on the service line, the Rainbow Warriors are having a tough time to get a good pass. Tele trying to run the middles, having a hard time.
Yeah, serve receive been an issue at times here in this match. Here's Umler, and that time he finds the floor. So Philip Umler with that foot down now has 6 kills. But Hawaii has some climbing to do here. And we're going to have a change at the libero position as Avery Enriquez making his first appearance as a Warrior, transfer from Grand Canyon out of Kamehameha Schools on the Big Island. Part of that incredible Enriquez volleyball ohana as Umler goes into the time.
Like you said, talk about volleyball ohana. They have 5 brothers who play Division I volleyball all across the U.S.
Yeah, and Dad Guy there on the left, whistling in the hat. Longtime volleyball coach, and yeah, I mean, this is, I'm not sure if you have a family that would exemplify a volleyball crew as much as the Enriquez.
I couldn't agree with you more. And amazing fishermen.
That's right. Van Buren off the fingertips of the block and down. And it is 21 serving 15 now in favor of the Ramblers.
The Ramblers are doing a great job here in this third set. They are out hitting the Warriors .55 to 235.
And it is a 6-1 run at the moment. Outside, it's Galloway up the elevator. And he's able to go up and get that set. And Hawaii still with a lot of work to do, trailing 16, serving 21. Voss back into the match and in to serve Kana'i Akana as you take another look at the bounce by Chaz Galloway.
Chaz Galloway doing a great job getting up high and cutting that line. Kana'i Akana back to serve for the Rainbow Warriors, someone who has done a great job for them, especially last season. We saw he had a huge impact there in the NCAA tournament, coming in and getting some great rounds from the back line for the Rainbow Warriors.
So a long exhale here from Akana. Got to get this one in, you would think. And he does. But a good pass, outside it goes. Schlotthauer off the block, played by Nucleus, but Tella has to chase it down. High ball, Galloway has to go over with the left hand. Advantage Ramblers, Van Buren, cross court, and in.
Van Buren doing a great job keeping these Ramblers in this game, being a lot more efficient tonight. And what an awkward swing he had to take off of a pushed outside of the antenna set.
We are going to have a challenge, though, from Charlie Wade on the in-out call. You see the officiating crew, Dixon Chun, R1 across the way, Ernie Ho down here on the floor. He will don the headset to take a look at this replay challenge. Kevin Chun, Mark Nakashima, the 2 line judges. So this is very basic. This is in or out. As Van Buren cut it cross court. You had Nucleus in the area. I think he was the one that first looked and made eye contact with Charlie Wade and basically said, no, that was out. But the line judge across the way on the Loyola Chicago side, he was pretty emphatic, saying that that was in. We will find out.
Sometimes very difficult to tell when it is close to the line because it may look like the outside of the ball might have touched the line. But let's take a look here on this replay. Ooh. That's that difficult one where the ball looks like it did land out, but the outside of it looks like it's on top of the line. It's a very difficult call.
Yeah, this is tough. And, you know, with this level of resolution, this isn't like what you see, say, in the Olympics or other high-level international competition where you have the extra frames added to be able to determine the in-out calls. This one a little tougher.
And it has to be very clear in order for the ref to overrule the original call.
That's right, because the call on the floor was in, and so you need the old incontrovertible evidence to be able to reverse it. Just based on those angles, if you were in the position of Ernie Ho right now, how would you rule this?
That's a very difficult one because there in that frame, it looks like the edge of the ball did clip the line. And as Charlie Wade would always say, the ball was more out than in.
All right, here we go.
But
drum roll, please. And the call will stand. So a point for Loyola Chicago. 22 serving 16. And we will have Max Rosenfeld enter back into the match and quickly give way to the libero Avery Enriquez.
Enriquez making his debut for the Rainbow Warriors.
You mentioned that family. So oldest bro Corey played at UH. You have Evan who played at Stanford, Emmett Season, twin brother Addison at Concordia Irvine. And now you have Avery here transferring home from GCU. And now a little tape job. I'm not sure if there was maybe some blood that was on the side of Jakob Tella's leg. They just put a little patch and tape it up, and he's ready to go.
Jakob Tella seeming to have a little rough weekend with the injuries.
And this guy is so valuable to this team. I think the crowd feels very uneasy anytime the athletic trainer is taking a look at him. Like, they need to wrap this guy in bubble wrap between matches to protect him because he is that vital to the success of this squad this year. Almost as evidence there as he takes a crack at it on the second touch. Van Buren, tip shot, punched up by Tella. And Enriquez will two-hand it over and find the floor. Welcome to Mano, Avery Enriquez.
Enriquez making an automatic impact on this Warrior team, scoring a point for them from the libero spot. What a smart placement by Enriquez. This causes a lot of teams to have a lot of miscommunication because that's where the setter should be, but you never really want the setter to take that first ball.
And a guy who can single-handedly turn the tide here from the service line, Jakob Tella to serve. Oh, a good pass, though, by Brooks. Right side, Schlotthauer off the block and down. Wow, Colton Brooks, he has had some dynamite moments. Hitting, blocking, serving, but that pass right there on the Tella serve might be one of the better plays he's had all match.
Incredible, and Schlotthauer with a great high ball swing, hitting 471 on the night. A big turnaround from what has been going on the past two sets.
How about the hitting percentage for Loyola Chicago as Hawaii signals for a timeout here in this third set? 542 compared to 286 for the Warriors.
The biggest difference is they are not only putting pressure from the service line, but they are putting it inbounds, forcing the Warriors to make plays. And the Ramblers are doing a great job slowing down the pins for Hawaii. Jakob Tella not setting the middle as much as he has been in the first two sets, causing his pin hitters to struggle a little bit more with very well-formed double blocks.
I mean, is there a sport that is more momentum-based than men's volleyball? I mean, it is unbelievable how you can have Hawaii for 5 sets this week, maybe not necessarily playing at their max level, although set 1 the other night was pretty close, but still seemingly going about their business in more or less effortless fashion. And then all of a sudden, you see a little bit of the shift in momentum late in that set 2. Hawaii still wins it. And here in the third set, Loyola Chicago, they have turned the tide and the vibe. And you just wonder, that momentum shift, it's hard sometimes to change like that.
It really is, but as you can hear the Rainbow Warrior crowd, they're trying to bring some momentum to the Warriors. But like you said, it's something that is not talked about too often, is the mental side of the game. It's not only can you physically stay in the game all night, but mentally can you keep that energy high from set 1 all the way to that last point.
Yeah, that momentum inertia. Hard to stop it, hard to get it revved up again sometimes. By the way, tickets issued this evening, 3,355 through the turnstile, 2,131. Out of the timeout, it's Tella. Backside, Galloway. Dug up in the corner by Schlotthauer. Here's Van Buren. Umler with the up. Umler over the shoulder, roll shot. Tried to put a little bit under it, but unfortunately didn't get enough on it.
Very difficult swing for Humler to take a swing at coming over his shoulder. But Van Buren with an amazing cross-body swing, bringing a lot of heat behind that ball now.
Yeah, he's getting more and more confident. Aloha ball here in the third for the Ramblers. Voss. Well, that wasn't the connection that was as picturesque as we've gotten used to between Tella and Voss, but it still worked. Voss now with 6 kills, hitting .667, still no errors.
Jakob Tella should get him a little bit more involved to keep his team in this game. Voss has proven a lot of leadership on this team, taking a role of I am going to score points.
It remains Aloha ball. Middle set, and that's put down by Lions. And for the first time this very young season, the Warriors come up short, losing a set for the first time, 25-18. And so the Ramblers, ranked 7th in the country, saying we're not ready to pack it in just yet in Manoa. Welcome back. Well, we got ourselves a match still here at Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center after Hawaii took the first 2 sets, 25-19 and 16. You had Loyola Chicago able to flip the script in set number 3, 25-18. So how does Hawaii get the momentum back, James?
Hawaii's going to have to be a lot more aggressive, but they're going to have to do a better job of serve-receive to get their middles a lot more involved. We saw in that third set, they barely set Guilherme Vos Santos and Max Rosenfeld, causing the pins to have a lot more trouble as the Ramblers were just pushing to the pins, having 2 blockers up against all of Hawaii's swings.
We were talking a lot about the questions coming into the season. How do you replace the offensive firepower loss, right, with your top 3 hitters, basically, from a season ago, Colton Cowell, Pat Gassman, and Rado Pato-Punov. But you also have to remember, Gage Worsley, who did have a year of eligibility remaining, decided to turn pro. He was the libero, All-American level libero for multiple years. You had Colton Cowell, who, while he was one of the top hitters in the country, he was also arguably the best serve-receive player for the Warriors. Like a libero-level defensive talent, Colton Cowell, who also is no longer here.
Colton Cowell was also in the running to become a libero until he grew strong. So you are right by saying a libero caliber serve-receive specialist, taking 2 of the best passers in the country out of the rotation. The Warriors are seeming to struggle a little bit, but they are keeping a good handle on the serve receive. Brett Stewart, not had trained libero his entire life, started off as a setter for the Rainbow Warriors, earned a starting spot in 2020. Last year, Jakob Tella outbeating him, and now Brett Stewart taking that libero spot, doing a great job holding his own, but I think it'll take some time for him to get used to being a true libero.
Well, here's a little change in the lineup for Hawaii as Spiros Hakas comes in for the first time, 6'4" sophomore from Greece. So the Greek connection out there on the floor for Hawaii in Hakas and Muklias.
Spiros Hakas hitting .313 last night with 8 kills will be a great addition for the Rainbow Warriors. Does a great job also hitting out of system, and a very natural volleyball athlete, to say the least. He's very elegant when he plays. He makes great fluid moves, and his step close, one of the best that I've seen.
Set 4 about to begin with Jakob Tella behind the service line. He can change the momentum if they can get started, but Loyola Chicago's been passing him pretty well here as of late.
And as you can see, Loyola Chicago with 4 players serve receive, and that big attack that has been great for them.
And again, that pass on the money, and that gives Dan Mangan, the setter, the options to do something like that, and it's Loyola Chicago striking first in the 4th.
And talk about a momentum change since Mangan has come into the game. He has brought a lot of energy for this team, but is also running the offense great. As Guilherme Vos Santos puts that ball away.
That was a good pass by Galloway. May have been an out ball that he played here along the sideline, but hey, the end result worked, and another kill for Voss.
I guess the Rainbow Warriors like to earn their points.
That's right. When in doubt, just go ahead and play that puppy.
Always. Chaz Galloway back to serve for the Rainbow Warriors. had a service ace in the last set.
He's got a team-high 11 kills here, hitting 318. Outside Brooks. Oh, Brooks not quite tall enough to get to that Mangan set. And Hawaii up 2-1.
But we do see the speed that the Ramblers are playing. Brooks going in so early for that set, hoping that it was going to be that fast. It's almost like a 3-ball.
One of the few miscues we've seen from this young setter so far for Loyola Chicago. And there's an ace by Chaz Galloway. That's his second ace of the match when Hawaii arguably needed it most.
Chaz Galloway doing a great job for the Rainbow Warriors here in this early season, showing a sense of leadership, leading by action, not as much vocally on the court, but doing a great example of keeping his composure and sticking to his role, doing what he needs to do really well.
Galloway taking his time, lets out a little air, and here he comes with it. The overpass by Jens. The free swing for Voss is dug up by Schlotthauer. Beautifully done. Then he gets a swing from the back row, but is denied access.
Rainbow Warriors with another block against the Ramblers.
And that was a true international triple block for Hawaii. You had the two Greeks, and you had the Brazilian
Two Greek columns on the side.
That's right. Muklius and Hakas aligning next to Voss.
Muklius and Hakas, Dimitris Muklias and Spiros Hakas have actually played together on the U19 and U20 Greek national team as well. This is not the only time they have been teammates. So it's really cool to see them playing probably as far away as you can get from home together on the same court.
Two serving four. Galloway, that's a good pass right there. And Voss unleashes.
And bringing that much-needed energy for the Rainbow Warriors. Voss hitting 636 on the night. Doing a great job leaving off from that national championship game.
Still without an error here in this match. Guilherme Voss with 8 kills and a pair of blocks. And Rosenfeld able to win the joust above the tape. And so Hawaii up 6-2.
Rosenfeld doing a great job closing those blocks tonight, doing what he has done best for the Warriors.
Yeah, he is just solid in the middle. We mentioned the experience, had 3 starts last year, but he's always been a spark plug when he's coming off the bench.
He really has, and whenever Max Rosenfeld has come into the game, he's had an automatic impact on the Warriors team. Guilherme Voss back to serve, one of the only float servers for the Warriors. Handled well by the Ramblers. Back set, and Spiros Hakas with the solo block against Van Buren. What an incredible last-minute move into the cross court.
Shakas for Hakas.
Shakas for Hakas.
As he gets the solo stuff. And Hawaii forcing a Loyola Chicago timeout. Welcome back. Spiros Hakas coming in off of the bench. Did not play in the first 3 sets. Already 2 blocks. He just finds ways to contribute. He isn't a guy that would necessarily be the one that you would pick just passing the eye test as the serve by Voss goes long. He's not necessarily the guy that stands out to you by his physique or the dimensions, but he is just a volleyball player through and through.
He really is, and the efficiency that he has on the court doesn't make too many errors and is very good technically. His arm swings, one of the most fluid arm swings I have seen on the Rainbow Warriors team, as Brett Sheward struggles with that pass. And there is that high ball swing that we're talking about.
Right on cue. You gotta love it.
Spiros Hakas is just does a great job about that step close, getting under that ball, his right shoulder, and reaching high. Sitting at 6'4", you do have to gain as many inches as you can by reaching high for those balls, and he did a great job swinging cross court over the block.
Big West Conference all-freshman team selection a year ago. Had 8 kills on 16 swings at 312 in the season opening win over the Ramblers the other night. Muklius, that's an ace. The other Greek doing what he does. The Greek connection paying dividends here in the 4th set.
Dimitri seems to be back on the island of Hawaii.
Nine serving three. Oh, that one played with two hands by Meinhardt, and then Van Buren comes flying in. Every swing seems to be getting sequentially more confident for Parker Van Buren.
And with a lot more heat behind them, Van Buren doing a great job taking a fast swing before the block can get into the hitting zone down the line. Back to serve Colton Brooks, who has been a lethal weapon from them for the service line, but well handled by Chaz Galloway. Max puts it away through the block, sneaks it through.
Max Rosenfeld saw some defense from him. There's a little bit of offense. 10 serving 4 here in the fourth.
Max Rosenfeld doing a great job. His hand is taped as he did suffer a broken pinky in the offseason.
Yeah, which was interesting. It actually provided Kyler Presho an opportunity to get a little bit more time when Hawaii took their offseason trip to the continent. And they have the advantage here. Outside, it's Galloway. Off the block. Good cover there. Hawkes, and then the free swinging Jakob Tilla.
That is the benefit of having not only a lefty setter, an athletic setter that can do it all. Jakob Tilla doing a great job offensively. As we see him take a good step close and a great swing cross court as he saw the two blockers up, taking that aerial one away. Spiros Hakas back to serve for the Rainbow Warriors.
Pass there by Schlotthauer. Gets the set on the outside. Tried to go cross court wrist away. He misses it wide. And we were talking about the momentum and how it swung to the Ramblers side in that third set. Well, it has violently swung back over to the Hawaii side of the net here in the fourth.
Spiros Hakas seems to have sparked a little bit of energy for the Rainbow Warriors, keeping them in this as he's back to serve.
Had 5 aces a season ago. Make that his first ace of 2022. And a 4-0 run here for the Warriors, forcing another Rambler timeout. The Warriors once again in control. Welcome back. Well, this gentleman has had a day. David Matlin, the athletics director for the University of Hawaii. He, along with University President David Lassner and football coach Todd Graham, going before a Senate committee to answer questions related to some of the budgetary issues as well as some of the reported pilikia, shall we say, associated with the UH football program. And yeah, it was a tough position to be in for sure for Mr. Matlin, as Brooks is able to put it down from behind the line. But good to see the athletics director still here supporting his men's volleyball program. Mama said there'd be days like this.
That is true. Garrett Zold back in for the Ramblers as a serving specialist.
Yeah, interesting how the narrative has changed a little bit for Loyola Chicago as it pertains to Garrett Zold in this match. Southpaw serve, handled well by Hawkes, and then Galloway smashes it, and again, Spiros Hawkes putting the pass right on target and allowing Jakob Tilla to do his thing.
Spiros Hawkes very technical and composed with that lefty swing, and Chaz Galloway going over the block, doing what he does best.
So here's Rosenfeld now to serve. 14 serving 5. It's a good serve. Overpass. Galloway couldn't get it down. Outside. Schlotthauer blocked. En route. Little solo stuff there for Jakob Tilla. And Hawaii gets to 15 first. And they are up by double digits here in the fourth. And you have to say, James, I think you have said it, in fact, already a couple of times, Spiros Hawkes with an immediate impact after being put out there in this fourth set.
Yep, Spiros Hawkes has just been so efficient for the Rainbow Warriors, starting off the game with a solo block against Ramblers, and then adding in an ace for them. He has been so good for the Rainbow Warriors after only playing 4 starting games last season, coming in and having automatic impact on the Rainbow Warrior team.
Yeah, I mean, I think that speaks volumes, right, about him being able to come in after not playing for 3 sets and still to be as locked in as he has appeared to be.
It talks to you about the culture of the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior team, though. Everyone on the bench can be called in at any moment, and they got to be ready to perform. And that's what they've shown in the past. Max Rosenfeld did it a lot last season. Spiros Haka's coming after sitting for what was close to an hour in the air conditioning, and comes and has an automatic impact on their team.
Hawaii hitting 700 error-free in this 4th frame. On the other side, Loyola Chicago negative 143.
Hawaii is doing a great job from the service line, putting the Ramblers out of system, allowing them to get good, solid, and well-formed blocks up, causing the Ramblers to struggle offensively.
Who had an opportunity to play at some other renowned programs across the country as well. Chose Hawaii over the likes of Long Beach, Pepperdine, Penn State, Ohio State. It's not as though he was an unknown commodity.
That is right, but how could you not want to come and play in the Simplify Stan Sheriff Arena in front of this amazing crowd?
Well said. Here is Rosenfeld on the serve. Van Buren continues to do his thing. And again, Voss landing somewhat awkwardly. There was that exchange earlier in the match where it seemed as though he came down either on Galloway's foot or vice versa, but it was just one of those. He was a little off balance, and he was trying to shake it off and sort of flex out that left ankle for a while. Seems to be okay is the main thing. Hakas, another beautiful pass, and then gets the benefit, the reward of the set, and he clobbers it.
What a whip that Spiros Hakas has of an arm. Amazing pass and even better swing from the back row.
I mean, the pass was perfect.
He could have set anyone. Jakobs could have set anyone with that pass.
And here he is now with the serve. Tella forces the overpass. Back row, it's Hakas. That set not quite where Hakas, I think, wanted it or expected it to be, and a missed opportunity there after the forced overpass on the Tella serve. You see a quick exchange there verbally between Tella and Charlie Wade as they discuss the decision-making there. Here's Muklius from the outside pin. And the swing by Brooks off the block. Saved out of the antenna area by Galloway, and then Muklius is dug up again. Over the net, though. Galloway couldn't get it down. Schlotthauer with another save. Van Buren, the tip shot. Muklius blocked it, and then tipped back over by Van Buren. Here is Hawaii on the attack. Galloway blocked and roofed. Colton Brooks, solo style.
What great scramble by the Ramblers. They were not ready to let that point go. As we see Chaz Galloway getting solo stuffed by Colton Brooks on the back set.
Yeah, there were a couple of times where it looked like it was going down on the Loyola Chicago side, but as you alluded to, they didn't allow it. Tella, back high ball set to Galloway through the block. Another save along the back line by Schlotthauer. Tipped by Brooks and then slam dunked down by Guilherme Voss.
Guilherme Voss, a force to be reckoned with, not only offensively up on that net, but his blocking has been incredible these past 2 matches against the Ramblers, as we see him do a great job closing on Chaz Galloway and then just tossing that ball down.
Yeah, that was one of those talk to the hand type of stuff. 17 serving 8. Middle set, Voss again the block on Lyons. So high ball, Van Buren, good swing, diving save Enriquez. Hakas sets up Galloway. And Schlotthauer continues to load up the digs. But that time it was hit into the net by Brooks. A rare unforced error by Colton Brooks.
Schlotthauer doing a great job for the Ramblers there in the back row in area 6 defensively. He's not letting any balls drop near his area.
How about a double-double performance for Schlotthauer? 10 kills, 11 digs. He's been protecting that back line very well here, but Hawaii's still up 10. Galloway to serve. And it's a good one. Two-handed over. Tella first to touch it. So the set by Enriquez to Muklius. And it goes long.
Set was a little bit inside for Dimitris Muklias to get to it, forcing him to hit out.
Nucleus 10 kills, now hitting 368. Hawaii being led by Chaz Galloway's 12 kills. Hitting percentage has come back down to earth a little bit for Galloway. He's hitting 241. But as the 2 aces, the 2 blocks, a quartet of digs, I should say. And here is Brian Voigt in to serve for Loyola Chicago. Hawkes, how about bettering the ball after Galloway got handcuffed a little bit? Tella was still able to loft it up on the set, and then Hawkes, he's just been the fixer here in set 4.
And that is volleyball for you. You just try to better the ball that happened in the previous play. Chaz Galloway, good job being able to put that ball up. A little bit questionable, but Spiros Hawkes with a great step close to put the ball away down that line.
3 kills for Spiros. Hitting 500, pair of blocks, service ace. Also has an assist, why not? Load up the stat line in your only set of the match.
In your only quick set of the match, as the score is 19-9 for the Rainbow Warriors. What a flip of script.
Yeah, no, they have found their traction, so to speak, as Jack Walmer once again in to serve. Here's Van Buren. Off the block of Hawkes and out, so a point there for the Ramblers. So looking ahead, Hawaii will have a pair of matches next week with Edward Waters, which is a new program. Edward Waters, a historically black university, which decided to field a men's volleyball program for the first time here in this 2021-2022 athletic year.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see volleyball is growing as a sport. We're seeing a lot of new teams come into play against a lot of top-ranked schools, which is very interesting to see what these new schools can do.
Yeah, that has been by design. That has been a full effort on many different fronts on behalf of men's volleyball to quote-unquote grow the game. And so what we will see next week, one of those programs that has been impacted by that, as the serve goes into the twine and Hawaii up 20-11. And so it's an interesting time in men's volleyball, right? You're seeing more programs. You're seeing an expansion into different areas and regions of the country. And it's just one of those things, the more the merrier. This is a wonderful, beautiful game. And we just want to see everybody enjoying it and realizing the value of it.
It really is, and the beautiful thing is you're seeing teams that are fairly new, like McKendree is tied in the top 15 in the nation right now, as I believe it is their 5th year that they have a volleyball program. So it's very cool to see a sport like volleyball grow within the United States. And I did see a statistic. It is the 5th most watched sport in the world. Not too sure where they got that statistic from, but you enjoy to see it.
Yeah, you're going to have to cite your source on that, perhaps. But
Instagram, not always the best.
Here's Brooks, 3 blockers for Hawaii up. Layout save, Nucleus and Tella on 2.
Something that has not been talked about enough is Dimitris Nucleus' defense lately. Not only is he a threat offensively, he allows his team to create plays with his amazing defense.
And gives the wink over to Milan Zarkovic on the bench. Credit Max Rosenfeld, too. He just got a fingernail on it just to slow it down enough to allow Nucleus to make the save. Schlauer dug up by Nucleus, chased down by Enriquez. Free ball coming over courtesy Hawkes. So advantage here for the Ramblers. They go outside. It's Brooks, dug up by Dimi over the net and out.
Dimi not allowing any ball to drop in his area. Doing a great job defensively, being in the right spot at the right time.
He has such a bright future in front of him. Still just scratching the surface to his volleyball game. 12 serving 22. Here it comes from Brooks. Good pass there by Galloway. Here's Dimi. That's his 11th kill.
What a great set by Jakob Tella. The pass was forced close to area 4, and he chose to go with the cross-court set to Dimitris Nucleus, who put it away.
And Spiros Hawkes, a guy you'd have to give some credit to for righting the ship here for Hawaii after a lackluster set 3. Outside, pushed over left hand style by Schlotthauer. Great pair of touches by Hawaii. Free chance here for the Ramblers, though. Van Buren. One hand save. Enriquez put over by Galloway. Scrambling on the side of Loyola Chicago. And how about the ad-lib? Dan Mangan taking the swing and getting it down.
What amazing defense by the Ramblers, keeping that ball alive and making great plays. What an amazing dive here by Dimitris Mukhlias, put up by Jakob Telle.
A couple of good plays in that exchange by Avery Enriquez as well. Libero on the floor for Hawaii as that serve goes long. That'll be another theme here this evening. 17 service errors for Loyola Chicago. And they will rise here at Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center. Aloha ball for the match as the defending national champion Warriors look to improve to 2-0, and it is Kana'i Akana back behind the service line. Amid the Viking clap, sends it into the net. And a fist pump of frustration from Akana. He wanted that one.
He did. When you hear all those fans clapping, it is very loud in here and can put a lot of stress in that situation. And a lot of times players like to just go for the ace in that when it's 24-14.
Mangan now to serve. They remain standing. It remains Aloha ball. Tella to Voss. And this one is Paul. Hawaii wins it in 4. 25-19, 25-16. They dropped the third 18-25 and then took it running away in the fourth. 25-14. The Warriors are now 2-0 in 2022.
What an amazing performance by both teams here tonight. The Ramblers came out in that third set, showing what they can do this season. But the Warriors came out on top, kept their composure. And Spiros Hakas was that spark that they needed to end this game tonight.
Well, let's send it over to Scott Robbs. He is standing with winning head coach Charlie Wade.
Hey, thanks a lot, Kanoa. Coach, first off, congratulations. You dropped that third set. You must have loved the way you guys responded in the fourth.
Yeah, really. You know, we talk about the level of engagement. And really, when we got to Columbus last year, our guys were so locked in, and you know, it's hard to keep them at that level. We played really solid there for 5 sets in a row, and Loyola played good. That's a good team. They're going to win a lot of matches this year. You know, it's the preseason favorite, one of the best leagues in the country. So, yeah, really happy how we responded. And again, got to thank the fans. I mean, it's unbelievable for them to come out here. Really gave us a lift there in the fourth set, and stoked to get the win.
We saw you change up the starting lineup just a little bit here in the second game of the season. You had pressure, you had Hummler. What was your thought process on that?
Look, you've been around long enough to know what's one of my favorite lines.
It's not depth unless you use it.
Hello, you gotta play it. And look, Spiros, look how he responded, you know, after sitting and watching for a little bit. He comes off and really gave us a lift there. So we'll continue to do that. These guys battle every day at practice, and you know, we like to reward that kind of behavior. I thought he handled it well and really came in and gave us a big lift.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you guys. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Bank of Hawaii presents the players of the match. Colton Brooks, 11 kills, hit 273, handful of blocks, 3 digs, and a service ace for Loyola Chicago. And for the second straight match, Jakob Tella, 39 assists, had 3 kills, a block, 3 digs, and 3 service aces. You'd have to give an honorable mention to a few players for Hawaii. Chaz Galloway with 12 kills, Demetrius Mukhlias with 11 kills, and Guilherme Voss, 9 kills, no errors. He has 1 hitting error so far this season. He hit 692. I'll give you the last thought here, James.
Yes, Guilherme Voss is going to be a lethal weapon for the Rainbow Warriors. It is unfortunate that he's in the game for only half the time, but as mentioned, Jakob Tella, MVP 2 nights in a row here in this openers for the Rainbow Warriors. A MVP possible player of the year.
Ooh. You're calling it. You're putting it out into the universe right now.
With his athleticism, it is pretty incredible. But what a great game here tonight. The Ramblers showing what they can do. And Colton Brooks had an amazing night. And one stat that you can never show on the statistical sheet is that energy. And Colton Brooks was that energy that the Ramblers needed there in that third set to bring them back into this game. But the Rainbow Warriors kept their composure. They did a great job with that serve receive with Spiros Hakas in the rotation in that fourth set, bringing them back and finishing it off.
Well, This is a different looking Hawaii team, and they have won in different ways throughout these first 2 matches. But in the end, they are 2-0. James, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for sitting in. Don't forget about the post-game show. They'll be breaking down what we saw on the Terraflex here this evening. But for now, for James Anastasiadis, I'm Kanoa Leahy. Until next time, everybody, we bid you aloha from Manoa.
From Spectrum Sports, it's the Hawaii Honda Dealers post-game show.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. Scott, Lisa, and Kupono. Hawaii makes it 2 in a row to start 22 as they defeat the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago in 4. So Hawaii 2-0 on the year. And both matches, they were led offensively by our very special guest here in the postgame show, Chaz Galloway, who led Hawaii with 12 kills, 2 service aces, and a couple of blocks. First off, congratulations, Chaz.
Thank you.
You know, early on in the first couple of sets, you were on fire, particularly from behind the 3-meter line, running that big play. We didn't see it at all on Wednesday. Was that part of the game plan going into tonight?
Absolutely. I mean, on Wednesday, we didn't run it at all until in the locker room. We were talking about wanting to run that more because I would say I'm more of a big specialist, and that's what I'm better at because I could jump and get onto the ball.
Tell us a little bit about Game 3 and what changed up. How did the momentum get so switched to the opponents?
Well, our passing wasn't that great. We were passing off the net, and they came out with energy. They got a couple good points, a couple blocks in there, and they just had more energy than us. So that's what happened there.
Yeah.
Speaking of passing, your passing has improved a lot since last season. It's something you talked about in the beginning of the game in your interview. Tell the fans something you've been working on that helped you improve your passing over the season, for this season.
Moving my feet instead of moving my head or my platform, getting my feet around the ball, that helped me a lot, especially with those faster balls.
We've talked about the fact that this season you're running a much faster offense. Do you prefer the way the offense is run now, or did you like it better the way it was last year?
No, I like it a lot more now. I mean, I'd like to say I'm a fast jump, fast arm type of guy, and I'd like to beat the block because I'm not really going through anybody. So I'd like to get there before the block's even formed and get by him.
I know your goal is to become an All-American. You seem to be on your way. What are some of the goals other than that you have for this season?
I mean, to win, to get another championship, be a 2-timer, that'd be great. Yeah.
I think in one of the interviews earlier in the week, you talked about the cohesiveness of this team and how it's really nice to have a group of athletes adjacent or on the team with you that are closer in age. Share a little bit what you meant regarding that.
Well, I mean, the past years with COVID and, red shirts, we had guys that are way older in a different part of their lives. I mean, they're in their major programs. So having young guys, having that young energy, that was really nice. And I get to connect a lot more with those guys. So it's been good having young guys on the team.
All right, Chaz. Well, congratulations. Great weekend. 2 wins over a very good program. And we'll see you back out here next week.
All right. Thank you, guys. See you.
All right. Thank you. Chaz Galloway, our special guest here on the Hawaii Honda Dealers post-game show. We'll come back and we'll have more from the corner. Highlights tonight too, Hawaii, Loyola, Chicago. We start off with the Ramblers, Colton Brooks, who had a nice night for the team out of Chicago. 11 kills, hit 273. He also added a team-high 5 blocks on the night. Good kill right there off the Hawaii block attempt. How about Chaz Galloway? Once again, leading Hawaii offensively in the kills category. 12 kills for Galloway. A couple of service aces, 4 digs, and 2 blocks as well as Galloway filled the stat sheet here again on a Friday night. Also helping out the cause for the University of Hawaii. How about Guilherme Voss? I mean, he looks really, really good here so far in 2022. 9 kills. Get this, hit 692 on the night, and he led Hawaii with 4 blocks as well, as Voss was just terminating the volleyball all evening long. How about Spiros Hawkins? Hawkins did not play in the first 3 sets. Came in set number 4 and really ignited a team that needed it. Hawkins with 3 kills on 4 swings. He had a service ace. He had a couple of blocks, including a block solo. Hawaii ran away in the 4th, and they take the match in 4 over Loyola Chicago.
Welcome back to the Hawaii Honda Dealers post-game show.
All right, guys, Hawaii wins it in 4. They go to 2-0 here in the early goings of 2022. What'd you see differently tonight than you did 2 nights ago, other than the fact Hawaii went 4, but from the Rainbow Warriors?
Well, they used a lot more players. There are 15 players inserted into tonight's match. They used a double libero system at one point. They used 4 different middle blockers. They kept the setter, of course, the same, but lots of depth, like Charlie Wade said, and it's not depth unless you use it. And I think that's really what we saw. We saw more players involved in the match.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're exactly right. We got to see everyone. We got to see more of what Spiros can give, even coming off the bench. We know we got to see Kanaya Kana come in and serving again. We got to see a few middles as well. So, I mean, Charlie has so much opportunities and so much pieces to this puzzle. So, very excited for him and see what turns out tomorrow.
You know, though, I give Charlie a lot of credit because a lot of coaches wouldn't go to their bench and give these guys, and that has always been his mantra. It's not depth unless you use it. I mean, I could see him maybe doing it next week against a lesser opponent, but not against the number 7 team in the country. But it does just show how much depth this team has.
Well, I think at times you forget that there's like 22, 23 players on this team, and they're in the gym day in and day out, and they're just chomping at the bit to get onto the court and giving them their opportunities. He always says it's how they produce when they get their opportunities, and so he needs to put them on in a live game situation to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, it's tough for them. They're going to go drop one set out of
spirit in Chicago.
out of, how many sets we play? 7 sets over the 2 nights. So we're going to see it and give them a lot of opportunity. And it's just good to see all the players, want and be aggressive and want to come out and play.
I think one thing we've learned this weekend, though, about this Rainbow Warrior team is that they've got a very special guy at that setter position, particularly behind the service line. 6 service aces for Jakob on Wednesday. He added 3 more here tonight. I'm not the greatest at math, but 9 through 2 matches. I'm pretty sure he's leading the country.
Well, go home and do your homework, Scott. I'm sure he is. But yeah, Charlie had alluded to that earlier in the season, but he's just matured. He's developed. He's become that instant leader, although not instant. He's been in the program for, I believe, 4 years now. So he's just been developed and put in the position where he is. Again, he's the quarterback. He's the leader. He's 6 rotations on the court. He can serve. He can set. He can hit. He can play. He's played spectacular defense. He's went into the stands like 3 times now.
Yeah, definitely. And like Charlie said, having a guy that can go back and consistently get you and go on a run 3 serves in a row, 4 serves in a row, that's just amazing. And you're going to go up. He was starting that 10-0 run the other day in the 3rd set. So it's so reliable and really good for Charlie to have someone like that.
And it's got to give your teammates a real boost of confidence as well whenever he goes back behind the service line. All right, let's take a look at the final numbers from this one. Hawaii wins it in 4. Hawaii out hitting the Ramblers 354 to 278. Remember, Hawaii only had 1.5 blocks after the first 2 sets. They finished with 9 out blocking the Ramblers, and Loyola Chicago with a little advantage in the digs category. The bottom line is Hawaii wins it. They're 2-0. We'll take a break, come back, have some final thoughts, and wrap things up.
Welcome back to the Hawaii Honda Dealers post-game show.
All right, week number 1 in the books for the Rainbow Warriors. Let's take a look at what's ahead for Charlie Wade's gang as they'll be back home again is it Thursday? I can't remember if it's Thursday. No, it's Friday and Sunday against Edward Waters out of Jacksonville, Florida. And then they'll hit the road, take on Ball State, and then they're going to go to Texas for this tournament. That's where they'll see them take on Kentucky State. When you see the rest of the schedule, Long Island, Stanford, Queens. We talked about this yesterday. A lot of names that we're not familiar to, right? I mean, really. I mean, a lot of these programs are very much in their infancy. Edward Waters, for example, this is year number 1. I think it's kind of cool we get a chance to see these teams.
I think it's great. I mean, it's completely different. For those of you at home that didn't hear earlier, there was a fan in the stands that came up and yelled over the banner at us saying, Chicago needs more aloha, And it was, we're seeing so many people come in and through the Stan Sheriff Simplify Arena. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think definitely since when I've been playing, when we just had less conferences, just expanding the conferences, allowing us to travel, allowing this team, the Warriors, to travel to more regions, to play more teams. And that's good for them to travel and experience others other types of volleyball, and that'll be good for them.
Yeah, and I think example is going down to Austin, Texas for that tournament. There's no men's volleyball at the University of Texas. These are other schools that play men's volleyball that are going there. They're trying to get publicity for the sport to try to grow it, and obviously it's starting to work.
Yep. Hashtag grow the game.
All right, you guys, final thoughts on the opening weekend, if you will.
Super impressed. I mean, I last night was just amazing. Again, I'm going to go back to that banner hanging up behind me. It's pretty amazing. The national championship, and then returning, starting out, I think they look great. They've got a lot of depth, a lot of leadership, and it's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, definitely back to the banner. I mean, just super proud as an alumni, just for all the coaching staff too. They've been growing this for some time, and it just looks so good up there. I mean, I'm just getting chills right now.
And you helped do that banner.
Before we go, I get a lot of people asking me, about certain players. What are they up to now? Get people caught up on what you're up to, Capono.
Me, I'm currently a project engineer at a construction company, so working 9 to 5 now. But happy. Thanks for having me today, and hope we can come back.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. All right, that'll wrap things up for us here on Aloha Friday evening from Simplify Arena. Special thanks, as always, to our outstanding, very talented Spectrum Sports crew. From our broadcast partners, Kupono and Lisa, I'm Scott. Until next time, bidding you aloha and a good evening from Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center in Manoa.